Good morning. Welcome to the Nevada State Board of Cosmetology Board meeting, January 8th, 2017. We're going to start with roll call. Can we start to my right?
Victoria
Brian Baltazar. Oh, I'm sorry, Brian Baltazar, board member.
Joanna Tran, board member. Victoria Negretti.
Sorry, Gwen Bramo, board president.
Kai Stanton, board member.
Taylor Trell McCormick, board member.
Can we start now with staff?
Adam Higginbotham, Deputy Executive Director.
Andrew Helms, Chief Financial Officer.
Leah Easter, Compliance Coordinator. And we also have with us in Reno, Inspector Charlene Marsh. And in Las Vegas, we have Pamela Hayes Fitzgerald and David Scarpelli.
Monica Bradford, Administrative Specialist.
Counsel.
Ashish Bala, Deputy Attorney General, and up north sitting as board counsel today, we have Greg Ott.
Okay. Do we introduce the court reporter as well?
If you would like.
Okay.
My name is Michelle Ferrer, court reporter.
Okay, Michelle Ferrer, welcome. Can we stand now for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I now will read the mission statement. The mission of the Nevada State Board of Cosmetology is to protect the public health, safety, and welfare through education and ensuring only qualified persons are granted licenses to perform cosmetology in the state of Nevada, and that all areas where cosmetology services are provided are kept clean, sanitary, and safe. The board now will entertain any comments by the general public. No action can be taken on the matter, and the comments should be limited to 3 minutes. Do we have anyone here today or in the north that would like to make a comment? No comments? Okay, we move down. Number 5, consideration and approval of the minutes. The board will discuss and approve the minutes from October 9th, 2017 for a possible action. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes, the October 9th meeting?
Taylor Trell McCormick, I make a motion to approve the minutes of the October 9th, 2017 board meeting.
Do I hear a second?
I second that, Joanna Tran.
I now call for a vote on the motions to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Say nay. Okay, the motion carries. Agenda item number 6. This is a formal disciplinary hearing. The board will hear the case and make a rule on it. Mr. Bala, would you present this case, please?
Thank you, Madam President. Board members, thank you. This case is the Nevada State Board of Cosmetology, case 2017-030 versus Knock Pham. Knock Pham, are you present here? In the north, Mr. Ott, is there anybody present?
There are 5 members present, no one responding to the name of Knock Pham.
Thank you very much. Madam President, in that case, I'd like to move towards certifying service and moving for default in this complaint, if that's okay with you.
That's okay with me.
Okay, so I'll proceed by reading the factual allegations and then certifying service with our inspector, and we can move for motions from there.
Okay.
Again, this is the Nevada State Board of Cosmetology versus Knock Fam, case 2017-030. Respondent is licensed by the board to engage in the practice of cosmetology as a cosmetologist. On or about August 15, 2016, respondent became licensed with the board for the practice of cosmetology. Respondent stated on her application for a license with the board that her date of birth is September 1st, 1952. Respondent's license number for the practice of cosmetology in the state of Nevada is C43085. Respondent stated on her application for licensure that she holds an active license to practice cosmetology in the state of North Carolina. Respondent stated that she graduated from Durham Beauty Academy but did not specify the dates that she attended the Education Institute. On or about July 3rd, 2017, the board requested the education records of respondent from the Durham Beauty Academy. On or about July 5th, 2017, a representative of the Durham Beauty Academy stated that she did not have any record of respondent attending the Durham Beauty Academy. On or about July 5th, 2017, records were requested from the Board of Cosmetology of the state of North Carolina. A representative stated that a Knock Fam, date of birth September 1st, 1952, had been licensed in North Carolina through reciprocity with the state of Georgia. The representative of the Board of Cosmetology of the state of North Carolina stated that there was no record of respondent attending an education institute in North Carolina. On or about July 27, 2017, the board requested records from the state of Georgia. Prior to this request, the state of Georgia sent a certificate of license for a Knock T Fam, date of birth July 9th, 2012. On or about August 31st, 2017, respondent met Leah Easter, compliance coordinator for the board, with Hein Lee, service specialist, acting as translator for the board present via Skype. Respondent's answers in Vietnamese were translated to English. Respondent stated that she did not recall what school she had attended in North Carolina or the dates and times that she attended. Respondent stated that she was in North Carolina around the end of 2014 or 2015 and sometimes went to class from 7 p.m. or from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Respondent stated that North Carolina was the only other state in which she had been licensed to practice cosmetology. Respondent stated that her license to practice cosmetology in North Carolina had expired. Respondent was asked the name of her instructors while attending Durham Beauty Academy but could not recall any names. Respondent stated that she did not regularly attend classes because she intermittently assisted her daughter with the new baby. Respondent stated that a former classmate of hers, Thien, assisted her in filling out the application, but respondent does not have any contact information for this former classmate. On or about November 6, 2017, the board sent respondent a 233B letter indicating that the board intended to file a complaint for disciplinary action with the board for violations of NAC 644-711, subsection 1, subsection C, and NAC 644-711, subsection 1, subsection H. In light of the fact that the service has been, I will ask for service to be shown, but after that I would ask for a motion to find the respondent in default. I'm sorry, we forgot to swear in the court reporter.
Okay, we need to swear.
Yes.
We need to swear in the court reporter. Am I supposed to swear her?
Yes.
Okay. I've never done that.
Oh, you haven't?
Usually have a court reporter perform the swearing in.
Oh, you do?
Correct.
Well,
Historically.
okay, I think we're good.
You can say, you want to swear in?
Oh, no. Did
Okay.
she swear as well?
It's always been the transcription.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much the same thing, just do you agree to take this? I would just prefer.
Say, well,
I just don't remember the terminology.
Okay, don't worry about it.
okay, but you can do that, can't you?
Okay.
Yeah, your counsel.
Well,
Thank you.
yes, but in this case, I'm presenting
You
the
can't
case, so
because you're presenting the
Mr. Ott
case.
is Mr. Ott.
Adam,
I think
go
we
ahead.
can
Go
leave.
ahead, Adam.
Technically, she's an officer of the court, so it's okay.
Okay.
So we can just proceed. Sorry for making a fuss.
Okay.
Are you going to be confirming service, or will Ms. Bradford be?
I can confirm.
Okay. Can you swear in Ms. Easter, please? I'd like to call Ms. Easter to confirm service.
Okay.
Thank you.
I do.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now I need to write that down.
Good morning, Ms. Easter.
Morning.
Can you please state your full name for the record?
Leah Easter.
And can you please state your position?
I am the compliance coordinator with the Nevada State Board of Cosmetology.
And how long have you been the compliance coordinator with the Nevada State Board of Cosmetology?
Since June of 2017.
And did you provide the 233B letter to Ms. Pham?
I did.
And what was the date of that letter?
I believe it was December 4th, 2017.
And how did you provide that notice?
It was sent via regular and certified mail.
And did you receive any notice returned back?
I have not.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Madam President, based on the testimony of Ms. Easter and the facts provided, I would like to ask the board to motion to find the respondent in default based on the factual allegations. And then we can move for the violations as well.
Because of the default of complaint in hearing, case number 2017-0303 versus Nog Pham, license number C-43085, I would make the approval that we, the board, consider this as default. So I think there's, at this time, if there's any board members that have any questions for you. Do we have any board members that have any questions?
No, but I need to say I'm
sorry.
I'm present.
We have a board member that just arrived. She's going to introduce herself for roll
Debbie
call.
Ritchie, Secretary Treasurer, Board of Cosmetology,
Okay.
and I second that motion. Did you already first it?
No, what we're going to do right now is we're going to find out if there's any questions for Mr. Bala by any board members on this particular case before we actually rule on it. So there's no questions by any board members. So now we go to the section of the violation. Can we move forward with the violation?
Yeah, we can vote on both of them together
So
as a motion.
do I get a motion to approve, to move forward with the default?
I would prefer that if we just motion to find the respondent in default now.
Okay, so now I would like to have a motion to define the defendant default in the case 2017-03-03.
Taylor Cho McCormick, in case C 2017-0303, I'd like to make a motion to uphold the judgment of finding the I hate to call it respondent in default.
Debbie Ritchie, second that motion.
Motion carries.
You need to vote.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So we have a second. All in favor?
Aye. And I second that, Joanna Tran.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam President. Based on the finding of default of this respondent, the Nevada State Board of Cosmetology is authorized to impose an administrative fine of up to $1,000 each for each violation pursuant to NRS 644-711. The Office of the Attorney General asked that this board impose a $2,000 fine in light of the fact that there are two violations. Anything else from, I don't know, Mr. Higginbotham, do you have anything else to add to that? That would be my recommendation.
I do not at this time.
As such, I would, that would be my recommendation. For
Yeah, I would like to have the board to make a recommendation on the violation that was before us by Mr. Bala. For the respondent that violated the NAC 644.711 and the NAC 644.711, one is 1 is C and 1 is H. Two different violations for $1,000 each. Council is asking the board to uphold that decision. Can I get a motion?
How to say that? I motion that? I motion that, Joanne Tran.
Can I get a second?
This is Kai Stanton. I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carry.
Thank you, Madam President. The next case before us is the Nevada State Board of Cosmetology versus Michelle Nguyen, case number C-2016-0314. Is Ms. Nguyen present? Mr. Ott, is there a Miss Michelle Nguyen present in the north?
Same 5 people are present in the north. There is no one answering to the name of Michelle Nguyen.
Thank you very much. Madam President, based on the fact that the respondent in this case is also not present, I would like to proceed by reading the facts and violations of law and then provide the board some time to discuss and then motion to approve that, and then we can move to the discipline.
Go ahead and present the case, please.
Respondent Michelle Nguyen, license number M-38591, was at all relevant times mentioned in this complaint and notice of hearing, licensed by the board as a nail technologist, subject to the jurisdiction of the board and the provisions of NRS Chapter 644 and NAC Chapter 644. On or about December 30th, 2014, respondent received a nail technologist license from the state of Nevada. On or about April 26, 2016, respondent applied for a cosmetologist license via reciprocity. Respondent stated on her application for a license with the board that she received a cosmetology license in Wisconsin in 2014, which was set to expire March 31, 2017. Respondent provided a certification from the state of Wisconsin in support of her application. Respondent's certification indicated that she was licensed in Wisconsin under license number 9748-82. When reviewing the documents provided by respondent, board staff attempted to verify respondent's licensure with the Wisconsin Cosmetology Board website. Board staff then contacted the state of Wisconsin by telephone. Board staff used identifying information such as a social security number and date of birth to verify that respondent did not hold any license with the state of Wisconsin, and she did not hold license number 97480-82. Board staff then compared the Wisconsin certification provided by respondent and noted that it was different than a Wisconsin certification that the board had previously verified as true and accurate. Respondent submitted a fraudulent certification to the board from Wisconsin. Respondent was not licensed by the state of Wisconsin as a barbering or cosmetology practitioner at the time she submitted her cosmetology license reciprocity application. Respondent submitted false information in her cosmetology license reciprocity application. On or about June 6, 2016, the board office received a North Carolina certification of licensure by U.S. mail. Board staff contacted the North Carolina Board of Cosmetic Art Examiners and learned that this certification from North Carolina was fraudulent. The North Carolina Board of Cosmetic Art Examiners Executive Director indicated that all license certifications are sent by email directly to a state board official. The North Carolina Board of Cosmetic Art Examiners indicated that any certifications purportedly sent by them through U.S. mail are fraudulent. On July 18, 2016 and July 21, 2016, board staff met with respondent in the office to discuss her application. Respondent admitted to board staff that the Wisconsin certification was fraudulent. Respondent caused 2 fraudulent certifications from other states to be sent to the board office in support of her cosmetology license reciprocity application. Respondent attempted to obtain licensure as a cosmetologist through fraudulent misrepresentation. Board staff believes that this conduct reflects respondent's lack of good moral character, which is required for licensure as a cosmetologist in Nevada pursuant to NRS 644.200 subsection 2. On or about October 6, 2017, respondent was served with a complaint and notice of hearing, which was subsequently continued per communication from the board in November 2017. On or about November 6, 2017, the board sent respondent a 233B letter indicating that the board intended to file a complaint for disciplinary action with the board for violations of NAC 644.711 subsection 1 subsection C and NAC 644.711 subsection 1 subsection H. I'd like to proceed with the violations at this time as well.
Yes,
before the board
go right ahead.
Respondent has committed the following violations of law. Respondent violated NRS 644.200 subsection 2 by providing false information to the board in support of her cosmetology license application and by causing 2 fraudulent certifications of licensure to be sent to the board office from other states in support of her application, which reflects respondent's lack of good moral character, which is grounds for disciplinary action pursuant to NRS 644.430 subsection 1 subsection A and NAC 644.711 subsection H. Respondent has violated NRS 644.210 and NAC 644.711 subsection C by misrepresenting her qualifications for examination to the board because respondent falsely stated that she held certifications from Wisconsin and North Carolina in her application or licensure by reciprocity under NRS 644, which is grounds for disciplinary action pursuant to NRS 644.430 subsection 1 subsection A and NAC 644.711 subsection H. Respondent has violated NRS 644.310 and NAC 644.711 subsection H by providing false information to the board because respondent does not hold the required license, permit, certificate, or registration, or has not been given the required authorization per NRS 644.310 to obtain licensure by reciprocity. Respondent provided false information on her application for licensure that stated that she is licensed in Wisconsin or North Carolina. This is grounds for disciplinary action pursuant to NRS 644.430 subsection 1 subsection M and NAC 644.711 subsection H. Again, I would like to recall Ms. Easter to confirm service of process. As she's still under oath, we'll just proceed. Ms. Easter, can you please tell us, did you provide service of process in this case?
We did.
And on what date did you provide service of process?
On or about December 11th, 2017.
And by what methods did you provide service of process?
Regular mail, certified mail, and process server.
And did you hear any response from the respondent?
I have not.
Thank you. Madam President, based on the facts alleged and the confirmation of service provided by the employee of the Nevada State Board of Cosmetology, I ask the board to find the respondent in default of the stated violations.
Do we have any discussion From any board members, do you have any questions?
I do. Joanna Tran. So since all these violations, are we just fining her on each violation, or are we doing anything about the license that she is currently working, or?
At this point, the Office of the Attorney General is only recommending violations for fines for each violation. However, if the board would like to impose some other discipline, the board does have discretion to do so.
Well, of course we have to. I mean, she shows no education of any state. Now she's working.
Taylor Trump, oh, sorry.
So, I mean, she's currently working somewhere
Correct.
with a license that she, got not from going to school or anything, so we gotta not just find her. She's not responding at all.
Well,
She's
the Office
probably
of
not
the
gonna-
Attorney General is open to other discipline that the
So
board
how
would
is she
like to
gonna pay
impose,
these? I mean,
but,
she's probably not gonna pay this either.
sorry?
She's probably not gonna pay these fines either if she's not responding after 3 notice. So we've gotta look up her license somehow and take that away, and, I mean,
I think there may be a recommendation from the staff.
Let's hear staff recommendations first.
Thank you. But Adam Higginbotham, Deputy Executive Director. The difference from this case to the previous case is that this applicant had a nail tech license in the state of Nevada in 2014. In 2016, this person wanted to expand services, so they tried to obtain a cosmetology license. They applied for a cosmetology license through reciprocity. This is the application that was denied. She had never received a cosmetology license. Because this individual has an existing license with the state as a licensed nail tech, we're bringing this applicant before the board under the moral character clause because they have an existing nail tech license and they tried to apply for a cosmetology license to increase services from our understanding.
so in 2014, was all her information correct and truthful? I mean, how,
From our understanding, we did not go back to whether the
'Cause
nail
that
tech
could be fraudulent
license
too.
was correct. It's possible. It's just we did have evidence that would support the possibility that there were fraudulent activity going on with this account, and this individual was brought before the board based on that cosmetology application, and we're bringing the individual before the board to say this is a moral character issue. They're trying to obtain a license with a board that they already maintain a license from. So they're under the expectations of being a certain moral character as a licensee in the state of Nevada. Once they've had that certain status of needing to provide that moral character, this is where the application kind of contradicts that statement. So we're bringing them before the board.
Taylor Trump McCormick, I have a question for you, Adam, or council. Are we able to call into question this nail tech license with like the recent discovery of fraudulent activity with this application?
I believe that's a separate question, unless there's any sort of indication that that was obtained fraudulently, we have no basis for taking action.
This is Kai Stanton. I just would like to clarify, this is 2 different cases. So the first, we're only focusing on the cosmetology, not questioning the nail technology, only because there is evidence that is supporting the cosmetology licensing. So we need to really make sure that we're focusing and understanding that they are 2 different cases so that we don't merge them together, overlapping into the licenses that may have been received properly. So unfortunately, not everyone wants to do the whole 1,600 hours, but that's what we're here for, to make sure that is done accordingly. So if I'm correct, this is a separate, this is not questioning the nail technology, this is the cosmetology, correct? Okay, thank you.
Yes, that's correct.
Board
Those are
President,
separate issues.
I just want to make sure that the board kind of understands what I'm hearing Adam say. Adam said that this person is already licensed as a manicurist, right, a nail technologist, and this individual submitted documentation stating that I finished school in this particular state, and I'm now asking for reciprocity for a cosmetology license. Okay, so I need from the board is to make a vote to uphold the recommendation of council that the individual, that Mrs. Nigel that's not here today, that we can move forward with the penalty, right? We want to find that this case, by default, we need to vote there first. Okay, so I need to the board to understand. Do we all understand? They have any other questions? Okay, so, okay.
Thank you for that clarification, Brian Baltazar. I just wanted to make sure, or ask more or less, I know it's a separate issue, the nail technologist portion of it. Is that something that we could move forward in a future meeting, or is that something that could be looked into further just to ensure that it is a valid license that's being held?
There would have to be some basis for moving forward with that. I just don't really recommend that the board, impose discipline outside of, a really significant factual basis for it. And in this case, the Office of the Attorney General saw that there was, fraud in the licensure application for these other businesses, but there has been no issue with the other business at this time. But I'd leave that up to the discretion of the investigators and the administration to flag, sort of problematic applications and problematic issues that come up over time. And we do work closely together on, refining that sort of process and the flags that we use.
Right. And I want to thank the board for the staff for actually being able to now, catch these type of activity. So this person, so we're actually just voting right now on the default, okay, of the individual, Ms. Nigel. So can I get a vote to uphold council's decision that Mrs. Nigel?
Recommendation.
A recommendation. Can I get a vote for recommendation of Ms. Nigel? I want the recommendation to uphold the default.
Brian Baltazar, I motion to hold the respondent in default.
Can I get a second?
I second that motion, Debbie Ritchie.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carry.
Thank you, Madam President.
So the second, we have to vote on the violation now. The amount of the fine.
The discipline to be imposed.
Okay. Yes. So now we will vote on the discipline to be imposed. I need a vote from.
Go ahead.
I need a vote from the board to uphold the violations NRS 644.430(1)A and NAC 644.711H to uphold the violation amount in $2,000.
Correct, Madam President.
1,000.
Well,
1,000 each.
I'm sorry. It's $1,000 each, so it'd be $3,000 total in this case.
Okay, $3,000 total. The total amount is $3,000. Do I need to read the NRS again?
No, and my apologies. In paragraph 1, there is a typographical error that should read NAC 644.711, not NRS. My apologies.
It's NAC.
Yes.
Okay. So I need a vote to uphold the violation for a $3,000 fine to Ms. Nigel, NAC 644.430, number 1A, and NAC 644.711H. Can I get a vote?
Is there, can we have a question, or we have to vote?
Yes.
Or?
We're
Yeah.
Voting.
You can have discussion if you want.
We can have a discussion. The board want to have a discussion about the $3,000 fine?
If she's not here to defend herself, we're fining her $3,000. She's not going to pay that, you know. I mean, I don't know how we're going to get her to pay that amount.
Well, if somebody doesn't pay and then, you know, she does have a active nail technologist license, then that will be an outstanding fine next time she comes up for renewal, and she will not be able to renew her other license unless she has paid her
Because that's a
fine.
big dollar amount.
Well, that's kind of like she has to be here.
Right.
So I'm asking the board to uphold council's decision on the violation.
I just wanted to know.
Okay. Can we get a vote?
Taylor
Brian,
Trump.
go ahead.
Taylor Trump McCormick, I'd like to make a motion to uphold council's recommendation on the violations in the amount of $2,000.
$3,000.
$3,000.
$3,000. My apologies.
I second that
motion.
Joanna Tran.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carry.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, board members. Just on the next item, Key Wang, the petitioner has requested a continuance earlier today, so the Office of the Attorney General has no objection to that, and so that will be heard on the next hearing.
So we're going to move that one to next board meeting?
Correct, Madam President.
Okay. So we're petition to appear, citation appeal, Christina Banks. Is there Christina Banks here? Can you come to the podium, please? Do we swear Christina in at this time, or you want to speak Mr. Bala first?
You can swear. We can swear her in.
Can we swear Christina Banks in? Okay, have a seat. Mr. Bala, can you present the case, please?
Thank you, Madam President. Today we simply have a petition to appear on a citation, Ms. Christina Banks. The violation was, I'm sorry, where am I looking at? She was practicing without a license or certificate, NAC 644-700. We do have the inspector, Mr. David Scarpelli, here today, but I would like to give Ms. Banks an opportunity to state any opening remarks that she has or any basis,
So, Ms.
any
Banks,
statements that she has. Thank you.
you can present your information to the board.
Good morning. The information that I received for the citation was that I was practicing under a hair braider license, which I have present here inside of a salon, which as a hair braider, as my understanding of getting the license, that I was able to practice on downtime in between clients, that I was able to do my family without receiving any type of pay and without any violation or anything of that sort. So when the inspector came, I don't know his name, sorry. When
Mr. Scarpelli?
When Mr. Scarpelli came in, I didn't sign the violation that he gave me because I wasn't informed and knowledgeable to the fact in order to understand that I wasn't able to do that. And considering that I've been in Las Vegas since 2009 and my goal is to become a barber, I've done all the steps to push forward to do this. I've waited on the list for Nevada partners for 2 years. They finally called me back last year, the beginning of last year. And they gave me funds to go to school, to barber school, to cover the whole course. I've been back and forth with Mr. Allen, I've sat in his shop days straight just to let him know that I'm serious and this is what I want to do. And still, he couldn't give me a date to where I can start or consider the fact that Nevada Partner only has a 6-month period. And I've really been pressing, I'm sorry, but I'm really passionate because I've really been pressing to get this, and I finally got the funds, and nobody's able to help me now. And I'm getting roadblocks in between, which is okay because my goal is to go forth. Everybody here sitting here had to do it. And I am starting from the bottom, but my goal is to move to the top to get to where I need to be. And there's going to be bumps in the road, but I just will hope that you guys consider to throw this fine out for my first offense and consider that I'm working towards the goal. I've actually took myself out of the shop that I'm working at now. I no longer work there anymore, considering the fact. So I don't want to be a burden on the owner or anything of that sort and put any violations on her, considering that she's a new business owner and starting her business. But I stepped back and got myself out of the shop, knowing that still this is my goal, even though I have my hair braider license. But I just need to understand and know what other step I can take other than moving back to my home state, California, and try to do an apprenticeship out there to get my license. And that's my case. I just will hope that you guys would consider throwing this out, or even if I have to pay a fine, I just feel that $2,000 is a significant, harsh fine for someone that really is trying and has put her foot forward to make the steps to get her license.
Okay, I would like to hear from the inspector.
Okay. Mr. Scarpelli? Over here. Thank you. Swear him in.
Okay. Did we swear him in? Can you actually explain to the board on that day what actually appeared to you when you went into the actual salon?
Yeah, I went in to do an inspection, witnessed, heard
It's Miss Banks.
Ms. Banks using a clipper on a male's head and face. And went and saw her license. It said hair braider, which you can't perform clipping services. So just wrote up the citation at that point.
Okay.
Well, it was written to her and the salon.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions for the inspector?
Yes, I do, Debbie Ritchie. I would like to know, is your salon that you're working at, is that commission and self-employed contractors? Is it combined or is it separate?
It is combined. Some are employed under.
So were you employed under her?
No, I'm not.
You're self-employed.
I pay booth rent.
Thank you.
I have a question for the inspector, if I can.
Let's go ahead.
Was the owner given the citation for NAC 644.377 and NAC 644.430, as well as NRC 644.360 and NRS 644.360, as well as NRS 644.73, which clearly says that someone has to be on site at all times. There should be someone there communicating, a supervisor that is also obtaining a cosmetology license to further implement that. Also running an establishment, not making sure that things are properly done. That falls under that section as well. And there are several violations here for that owner for this cause as well. Were citations given to the owner?
A citation was given to the owner for allowing her to work unlicensed. Or performing services out of scope. She has a cosmetology license, the owner. There was probably a good 12 people in there that were licensed and performing the services that they were licensed to perform. So there was no reason to give whatever the NRSs you were speaking of. The one I gave.
NAC .644. .377.
So
there was someone on staff. There was someone on staff that was. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
There was someone on staff that had a cosmetology license that was overseeing what was happening.
Okay. And my last question is, you spoke to that person on site after giving the citation, the owner as well?
The owner, yes. I pulled her aside.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Any board members have any other questions for our inspector? David? Okay, I think we're good. Mr. Bala, do you have any questions for or any comments to Mrs. Banks?
Madam President, I do not at this time. I would simply ask that the board uphold the fine that has been provided by the inspector on the basis that the inspector provided.
Okay, do any board members have any questions for Mrs. Banks?
I do.
Aye.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, Joy. I apologize, Ms. Banks. I do have a few questions. Did you purchase the law book? Do you have this book?
I don't. I downloaded it on the internet before I took my hair braiding test.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so you do have access to this?
Yes.
Okay. As well as, do you have access not just to the laws and regulations, but you were giving a format for the test, right, in order to pass the test for your current braiding license, correct?
A format in which sort?
Reading, you passed it, you obtained it, so you had some literature, some information to obtain that license in order to pass your test, correct?
Information that is...
For your braiding license.
That was placed on the practice test? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. And my last question is, how often were you given opportunities to practice inside of the establishment?
Not often.
Okay.
I don't do it often. I'm a natural hair braider, and I do locks, specialize in locks.
Yes, and were you advised that this was okay under the governing part of, I'm trying to understand your point of view as far as what information you were given by the owner as well, and was it an apprenticeship that you felt so comfortable to cut hair? I just want to clarify.
No. In the state of Nevada, I don't believe you guys do apprenticeships. That's the reason why I've obtained my hair braider license, in order to shift to still learning under a licensed cosmetologist.
Right. Well, now, under barbering, I know they do offer that, and sometimes that's where the lines get a little blurred. When you're far, there's so much distance that you have to have from a barber shop, or a barbering school, in order to practice, et cetera, et cetera. So I didn't know if maybe that information was related to you incorrectly, and maybe that's
I just think my understanding of it wasn't all the way sure.
Okay.
Any other questions for Mrs. Banks?
Joanna Tran. Ms. Banks, you do know that if you are practicing, as you said, right, you are practicing.
Yes.
Okay. You know that you cannot practice in the establishment with a license. You would do that at home, not at a salon.
Now I know. I didn't know then.
Okay.
That's my whole fight, is I didn't understand, and I didn't know that it was a violation. Because if it was, I wouldn't have been doing it. I do have my own home, and I could cut in my own home. But I did not know.
You read in here, right?
I obtained my license last year.
It does state in here that you cannot do that at all. So if you read this, you would understand. You cannot do any of that in establishments with the license. You must have a license.
My understanding, I thought, was that I just wasn't able to contain a razor and have any razor service at all. That was my understanding.
So if you want to practice, you must practice at home.
Understanding now, yes.
This is Kai Stanton. One more question, Ms. Banks. Well, actually, statement. I do appreciate you coming and explaining. Asking these questions because I know sometimes information can be a little blurred when given or related to someone else that you're working under a different, establishment. I further want to encourage you to please continue to read the Nevada state law, because as the state board, we have to uphold the law. We have to worry about the sanitation. We have to worry about the client and making sure that they are safe. And in this industry, I know you want to give your clients 110% care, and that's why we're here, so that you are aware and that you can give that 110% care. A lot of times, things are misconstrued to meet someone else's needs and maybe not meet the needs as required by rules and regulations, and that's what we're enforcing.
Right.
It's not personal, it's just saying that we have to uphold the law, and that we do appreciate your honesty in saying, hey, I did this. And so being a part of that is accountability, and accountability is saying, I am a leader enough and I am taking accountability enough to say, I know now and I am going to move forward to do better.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, board members, I would like to have a motion to uphold the penalty under NAC 644.70 to fine the violation. That was the violation, and that was the NAC number of $1,000 penalty to be paid. We need to make a motion first on the penalty.
I think there's already a date within the penalty is due, Mr. Higginbotham. Can you correct me?
I believe payment is within 30 days.
Okay, so we can say within 30 days of the date of the order.
But we want to be able to make sure it's going to be feasible for 30 days.
Pardon me.
Okay.
Within
Yeah.
such time frame that the board determines is correct.
Okay.
Pardon me. Mr. Helms has corrected. Typically on citations that are issued out in the field, there's a 30-day, but usually on orders, there's 90 days.
Okay. So do have any board members have a question about the 90 days?
Tia Latrell McCormick, I do want to discuss a reduction in this fine. I think that it's, first of all, she showed up. And I think that that is, it's good. She showed up and she said, hey, look, I made a mistake. We do have, it's our responsibility to uphold the law, but we have given reductions for far less. So I would first like to see a reduction, and then I would like to see an extended amount of time for her to be able to pay this fine. She has expressed there would be a hardship. So I would just like to open that for discussion.
Debbie Ritchie, I'm just in question of she was using a shaver, a razor, wouldn't that fall under the jurisdiction of a barber?
It was clippers, I believe.
It was clippers? Okay. Yeah, I think the fact that she's here and she's really wanting to do better, she wants to better her life. I mean, we need to look at that as well. I understand that we have to uphold the cosmetology regulations. However, I ask the board to really consider that she is here and she's doing the best she can. And I'm not saying we need to do something, because we just can't let it pass, but we also have to know that she's here, she showed up, and she's asking for something. So I'm asking the board to look at what we can do together to make this work for her so she can continue to do well in her life.
I'm going to ask the board members to actually really take a look at, and I thank staff for actually out in the field making sure that the licensees uphold, the responsibility of their license. As a hair braider, and I don't know if all the board members understand this, but this is a grandfathered in license. This is a license where the individual does not have to attend a school. Okay, so we probably need to really take a good look at a lot of things, because I'm sure that not only with Mrs. Banks, I'm sure that is happening throughout our city, where we take a hair braider, give them issue a license, which is great because it gives an opportunity for them to go to work. But then it also is a very limited license that I'm not quite sure if what they really understand. You can only braid hair. You can't cut hair. You can't color hair. You can't curl hair. There's no sanitation involved. So we really have to be careful. So we need to make sure that this is nothing that's going to continue to happen, because we have to make a living. And I get that part. I totally understand the living part.
And I took myself out of the shop because considering that.
And I understand that. And I do applaud you for coming before the board. But I really, you know, I understand. I get it. I see it every day. But, you know, there's a scope of work for that hair braider's license. And were you given that when you made application for your license? Did you understand that the only thing that you could do was braid hair? Did you understand that you couldn't cut hair, you couldn't color hair, you couldn't relax around the edges, you can't do anything with chemicals? Did you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Taylor McCormick, I think that she's admitted that, and to what you're saying, I agree completely. But I think in this situation, we do have to take it situation by situation, and she's admitted that she was outside of the scope of what she should have been doing. She did mention that she'd been waiting for a long time. None of this negates the fact that you were caught doing something you were not supposed to do. So for that, we do need to uphold the law, and she does need to pay a penalty. However, I just wanted to express that the hardship associated with the $1,000 fine, I think, would be extreme given the circumstances.
This is Kai Stanton. I would like to see the line a little bit more clearer. So if we have another individual that is not sure or within a scope, or they're trying to practice due to they're trying to reach a certain level of education they're not obtaining, I understand that. Here's my concern. Where and how can we apply that so it is equal and understood across the board? Because I won't be a part of a snowball that's, you know, I didn't know. That's going to continue. I would like to understand so that I can make a sound decision on saying, okay, the $500 or the $200, I completely understand. I can see that. And so can the individuals out in the community understand why that decision was made. So I would like to, if there's a law that supports that, if there's something that I have a go-to on, I am more than okay with that. I'm just asking the board to let's just be solid across the board so that moving forward everyone understands and knows the expectation, so that the expectation can be met and not have blurred lines.
Debbie Ritchie, like she said, everybody's an individual. There's only how many braider licensed in the state of Nevada? How many is there?
It's quite a few.
9?
Oh, no, we have quite a bit.
And Henderson, how many?
I believe 12.
12.
Well, maybe as of a couple of weeks,
Okay.
13.
So we've already discussed, and we already have the law set where your fine is $1,000. So you're here, you're asking the board to forgive you somewhat of what has happened and move forward. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I want the board to understand that we're here as individuals, and I know that we all have a passion for the industry, but I want us to be able to understand that we are here as well to uphold the law. We can give, I have recommendation, and I could give my recommendation, but I wanted the board to really understand what they're actually voting on, and I want them to be able to make sure that it doesn't snowball in the community. It's across the state of Nevada. It's 12 hair braiders now that's able to braid hair, but we don't want 500 that's performing services inside the salons. We have a position, and we have to understand. I mean, there's time and there's place, and I do applaud you, and I understand totally. I do get the hard work it takes to be successful. So I'm asking the board to hereby make a motion to uphold the penalty given under NAC 644.700 for the $1,000 first, and then we can go back and we can discuss the time frame and given the hardship. Can I get a motion?
Joanna Tran, motion.
Can I get a second?
Kai Stanton, I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion's carry. So now we need to be able to give the time frame. Can I do that, council? Can we extend the time frame?
You may, Madam President.
Okay. I would like the board to actually hereby give a time frame for the penalty under NAC 644.700 because it sounds to be, the board agrees that there's a hardship, and I understand. I totally agree as well. We can extend that from the 90 days to, we've had it in the past up to licensing, right? Licensing renewal. So if the board will make a decision to if staff, we want to make the recommendation that this fine under NAC 644.700 of the $1,000 be extended and paid upon renewal of license. Can I get a motion?
Debbie Ritchie, I would like to make a motion to extend it for her next renewal of her license. That's given her, do you know when it is? July 12th. Yeah. Yeah, because $1,000 for a hair braider is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that's my recommendation.
I have a question. Would that be in the meantime that she can't start making payments, or, I mean,
She can make payments, but she can continue to
like
practice.
each month it'll be a payment until that date, right? Or it's just
Full payment would be due at the time of license renewal in July 2018, but she would be able to make payments. No payments would be required before then under the language
I
of
think
this
her
order.
license counsel it won't renew till 19.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think your license renewal is 2019.
Yeah. Oh, it is 2019.
Perfect, great, okay.
Right.
Yeah, so I'll make
Okay.
my payments. And
Taylor Traum McCormick, I
appreciate-
second that motion.
So we had a first motion by,
a motion of what? Wait. Motion, what are we motioning on? The payments up to?
the payment up to license
Debbie Ritchie,
renewal.
Yes, she made the motion to extend it until licensing renewal, and I second that motion to uphold the fine but extend it to licensing renewal.
We had a second, right? Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, board members. The next case is Hai Tan Nguyen. Is there a? You want to? We're gonna swear you in with the court reporter. Good morning, Madam President. This is a citation for a violation of NAC 644.700, aesthetic service performed by an unlicensed individual. As the last time, I would like to give the respondent the opportunity to provide their statements and provide their argument, and afterwards, if the board sees fit, we can bring the inspector forward to have some questioning there as well. But at this point, the Office of the Attorney General simply requests that the fine as provided by the staff be upheld.
Okay, have we sworn Mr. Nigel in? Okay, so you want to present your information to the board?
Yes. That's on August 28th, like very early in the morning, and Mr. David come to one of my shop, my nail salon, and one of my techs, like she forgot her phone and she have really bad mood on that day. He come to look for her phone. Yeah, and when he come in, she walk out. Try to help with a customer, like take the chair off, wait for another tech come in, and then she took off. And I got a call from other tech say, oh, Mr. David here, and he want to see Ray license. He want her to come back, but we cannot in touch with her until the next 2 days. And I told David, I said, you're welcome to come back. I have a camera. I can show you on the camera. But I don't hear anything, like from Mr. Dave to respond, like yes or no. And then David told me, like, oh, take the picture of that lady with the license, send it to him, and it will be okay. But, that's personal. She's not allowed to do it. So I have no idea. So, and I've been in the business for 16 years. That's a family business owner. And I got 2 different locations, never have any violation. So I think this case is not fair for me. So a little mistake. So I ask you guys to do a favor. I don't have to pay for this fine. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, can we get the inspector to come up, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. He's been sworn in. Can you explain to the board, David, what happened when you walked into the salon of Mr. Nigel?
Yeah, first I was in the area doing routine inspections, noticed that they were open earlier than what's posted on their door. So I kind of red flag for me to kind of go in when it's 8:30 in the morning, but they don't open until 9. So I walked in and there was a lady doing nail services. Introduced myself. She got up, went kind of towards the back to tell someone back there that I was there. And she came back out, got her stuff, and just walked out the front door. I tried to get her to come back to show me that this was her license on the wall, because it didn't look, the license that I was looking at and who was there did not look similar. But she never came back. I wasn't able to prove that, and I kind of found it odd that she just got up and walked out. And in that situation, since I have no proof, I have to write it up. And when he's referring to sending he did call me, and I told him there's nothing I can do. Once I submit the citation, it comes here. I can't do anything after that. So any documentation that he's able to provide to the board to help him is what I was telling him. So it wasn't to send me this information so much as gather it for this.
Let me just ask you this one question. When you walked into the business and you noticed that the person got up and walked out, did you at that time try to speak to that person that was walking out? How did you try to get them to come back?
I was communicating with the woman that came out, because I think she was the one that was in charge at that time, because she was the nail tech. Came out and I was discussing with her who I was and everything, and by that time she was already out the front door. So.
Okay. Any questions for the inspector first?
Victoria Negretti, where is she? Is she licensed? The nail tech?
Yeah, she licensed. And she still work there, but she not Vietnamese, she from Hawaii. So she have a little heavy set, that's why. But that's why they would get misunderstand, like people in the bad mood and people very nice on the picture. But that's only one, that's her. That's only, yeah. Because I got 2 different locations. I got like about 20 people work for me, and I got manicurists call out, apply for work every week. So why I have to hire people unlicensed? Yeah, I don't think, I'm not that stupid. Yeah, I know the law. And 16 years, I don't have any violation, yeah.
This is Kai Stanton.
And I know David too, yeah, but I saw him in my...
Okay, sir, just one second. We'll have questions for you in a few minutes. We still having questions for David, our inspector, for right now.
This is Kai Stanton. This question is for the inspector. Sir, when you received a phone call from the owner, did you return, or was the time frame given to show the applicable, the license that is current?
I already left, received the phone call that he didn't know where to go from here and how to prove who it was. I already wrote up the citation. I was already moving on, and I didn't have any proof at that point in time.
And my last question is, you did not see her license posted anywhere in the facility, correct?
Well, she's... The woman that was there, the Vietnamese woman that was in the back, came out, told me that it was the woman's license that was posted there. There was maybe you said Hawaiian, is that?
Yes.
I guess a Hawaiian photo.
Hawaiian,
and
Mexican.
it just, to me, the person I saw didn't match, but I had no way to compare because she got up and left, so I couldn't see exactly who it was. But in my memory of seeing who was there working, it did not match.
Okay, one question. Gwen Bramo, Board President. I wanted the board to get clarity because we're talking about a manicurist that was performing aesthetic services. Because I'm confused now.
No, it was an unlicensed individual performing nail services.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I thought we said something about aesthetic services. No.
No, I do understand that.
I did say that, but my apologies. I must have incorrectly.
I'm like, okay, we talking about nails here, but I heard aesthetics because I'm like really focusing in now.
Thank you for clarifying. Yes.
Okay, so we're talking about when you walked in as an inspector and what you saw. You saw a person that was taking off, and when you walked in there, they took off.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions? Any other questions for the inspector?
Brian Baltazar, Vice President. Just for clarification, so as best to your knowledge and memory, the two individuals are two separate individuals, but you cannot confirm that?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I have a question. It's not for the inspector, but is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So in your statement here, you write, you reached out to her, but you could not get in touch with her, and in that time until 2 days later, and that she refused to give her picture out. Is that correct?
That's why I cannot take for him a picture. Yeah, that's the personal thing.
So
I have no, yeah.
So she's refusing to give her picture after the request, and she walked out when the inspector came in.
No. I don't have They would ask me to take a picture of Rayanne.
But she refused to give her picture?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And then with the license, take it to him to make sure that's the same.
But you didn't do it, right?
I asked, yeah, he said no, he don't do it.
So you did not complete that, right?
No.
Okay, thank you.
No, I don't.
Is she still, Gwen Bramo? One question. Is she still an employee of yours?
Yes, he still work there. You can stop by any time. Yeah. It's there.
So, she's your employee, and she won't give the picture for you to give to our state inspector?
For this case, he's, like, that's her personal. Once he say no, what can I do? That's why I'm here today, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay.
That's totally different.
Okay.
That's between personal and the case.
Okay.
This is Kai Stanton. I do understand your point. However, she didn't come with you today to present her license, which concerns me. You said she's currently working for your company, and you hold 20 employees, right? So you are aware of who is and who is working. And so even if she said, I don't want a selfie, I don't want a personal picture, it's still her obligation to go down to the state board and to show her license. Oh, she wanted to come here with
me today. Yeah, she wanted.
But she didn't come with you today.
So.
And do you have her current license posted?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's important that she goes down to the state board office, as the inspector clearly stated. He requested to make sure and made it easy for her to verify this is her. That's what further concerns me. So with all of these different opportunities, on top of how important it is for her to appear with her license, and just said, I just didn't want a personal picture, I would have understood that. Do you understand? You get what I'm saying?
I don't get it.
So at the end of the day, it is important that we have her license and the actual licensee holder together so that it can be verified.
This is what I'm requesting of the board. Do we have any other questions?
Joanna Tran here. If she was licensed, why would she run off? That's one first question for me. Why was she just run off?
Like,
that's the main thing. If you're licensed, it doesn't
when,
matter. If you're working with a client,
in,
I'm speaking, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, thank you. If she's working on the client and then she just runs off, what kind of service is that? If she's licensed, just sit there and work.
No. Okay.
Doesn't leave a client and runs off.
No.
And you don't get in touch with her for 2 days, sir.
Yes, okay.
And you are the owner. You have the right to the licensee, because I'm owner. You have the right to have her come and prove herself. You have to do that. Her license is posted. You can take the picture. You have her come in. So I don't understand why she would just run off and you can't get a hold of her for 2 days and she's working at your shop still right now.
No. Let me tell you this.
And she's not here either.
That's her days. That's on her days off. She up on Monday and Tuesday.
You know you're the owner, right? You're responsible for that shop and everybody that works there.
Yeah, that's
You
why
are
I say
responsible
like.
for everybody.
No, I'm here.
Or asks for a license of your employee, you are and able to take that license.
I want to make a recommendation that we hereby make a motion to uphold the penalty given under NAC 644.700. $4,000 penalty to be paid within 90 days. Can I get a motion?
Sorry, within 90 days of the date of the order.
Okay. I'm going to start over. I would like to make a motion to uphold the penalty given under NAC 644.700, $4,000. I want the penalty to be paid within 90 days of the order, of the date of service. Can I get a motion?
This is Kai Stanton. I motion that am I saying this right? I motion that the penalty stands and that we move forward on the penalty on the citation that stands.
Can I get a second?
Taylor Tro McCormick, I second the motion to uphold the penalty of $1,000 and give 90 days from the date of citation to pay said fine.
All in favor?
Aye.
You have a question?
I'm in favor of the fine of $1,000, but I think he should pay in 30 days, not 90 days. He's got 2 salons, he's got 20 employees, he can afford it.
Okay.
Is that possible to rescind a vote?
I wasn't really clear if a final vote had been taken.
We hadn't all in favor yet. We haven't get the
So
final
then
vote.
we can amend, I guess there's an amendment to the motion on there, and so you can vote
Yes.
on the amendment first, and if that passes, then, you vote on the full motion as amended. Otherwise, the amendment fails, and you can vote on the original motion.
Okay. Did you have one more question before we vote?
Yes, please. So what other way can I prove for you guys that's her, the same girl? Because like they very young, 20, 21 years old. You know how party overnight, they come and work, we have to be easy with them. So and this thing I don't think it involved with her. She totally out. That's why I don't want to bring her here. She offered me today to come with me, but I said I don't do anything
But
wrong.
let me just explain this to you, Mr. Nigel. I do understand where you're coming from. I'm an owner as well. But I think what the board is, the penalty stands because for one of the reasons is when the inspector asked to see the picture, there was no picture, no person, no pictures. So as a board, we're here to uphold the law. That's what we're here to do. So if the individual would have given the picture to the state as requested, I don't think we would be having this conversation today. So now that there's no picture, no person, we're just upholding the law, and it states that you had been given sufficient time with no, just nothing. I mean, no proof. So the burden of proof basically lies right now with if the lady, your licensee, that's your employee, could be paid to show up today, would have been nice. Or see if she would have showed up with you today, and then the inspector could have identified her. But because she didn't show up, nor did she send a simple picture, and I understand that that's personal. So we have to move on now and uphold the law. Do you understand our position?
So can I ask for the next meeting? I will
No.
bring her here.
No, not at this
Too late
time.
now. You got plenty of time to do that.
So I need to I want to amend the emotion. I want to amend the motion to under NAC 644.700, the $1,000 fine, to take back that it be paid in 90 days from the date of service, to asking that we have to vote on that one first, right? Vote to amend.
Yes, correct.
Okay, we're going to vote to amend the motion that was put on the table first for the $1,000 fine to be paid in 90 days of service. Can I get a motion? Can I get a motion to amend the fine being put on the table for the 90 days? There's no motion.
Okay, so then you can vote on the original motion.
Okay, we're going to vote on the original motion.
You may want to just restate.
I'm gonna
it,
restate
30
it.
days within date of the order.
Okay, I'm going to restate the motion. I want to make a motion to uphold the penalty giving under NAC .700 for $1,000. I want to make a motion that the fine be paid in 30 days from the date of service. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carry. Thank you, Mr. Nigel.
That means I have to pay?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Are you the inspector for the next one too? Yeah. Okay, you want to just stay here then? Good morning, Madam President, board members. The next case we have is a citation appeal for Miss Gloria Cruz, owner of Gloria's Hair Design. Ms. Cruz, are you present?
Excuse me, counsel. Can I give the board members a 10-minute break, please?
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you, President. Thank you so much.
Okay, we're going to resume to the next practitioner, Gloria Cruz. Yeah. Mr. Bala, would you like to present this case?
Thank you, Madam President. This is a citation appeal from Miss Gloria Cruz, owner of Gloria's Hair Design, license S2379, appealing citation 5470, issued on August 23rd, 2017, and citation 5475, issued on August 23rd, 2017. The inspector is Mr. David Scarpelli, who is here for any questions by the board. Also here today is Ms. Cruz's husband, who I believe is a co-owner of Gloria's Hair Design. These citations were for violations of NRS 644-430, subsection 1, subsection L, and NRS 644-472, subsection 1. The Office of the Attorney General simply requests that the two fines here, which are $200 per violation, be upheld. And if the board has any questions for Mr. Scarpelli is here, but at this time I would like to provide Ms. Cruz and Mr. Cruz the opportunity to present any statements that they have.
Can we have them sworn in, please?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm here because I'm a co-owner of the Gloria Hair Design. I'm the one who paid the bills and take care of the license. So I got a citation because I was operating with an expired license that I don't even know. I have the beauty shop for 32 years. In 32 years, I never have a late charge or expired my license. The reason that I say this is because I don't think so that's fair. You people, you board change from mail to internet. I never have an internet or email in my shop. So all the time when I receive the letter from your board that my license is going to expire, I've been paid it for 32 years. So I noticed when the inspector is coming in and find out, my wife find out that the license was expired. Otherwise, I could have paid it. If it's in 32 years, I never miss. I don't think it's fair if I make a mistake or somebody make a mistake, don't send me a letter that I know my license was expired, I don't even notice.
Can we have Adam to share with the board what is the process of the renewal for establishment license?
For establishment license, Adam Higginbotham, Deputy Executive Director. The establishment license back in early 2016 transitioned away from paper renewal notices. This is a separate issue from our individual renewal notices. Our salon renewal notices were no longer mailed before, almost a year before our individual licenses were not mailed. So it's been in policy since 2016. The salon last renewed before the 2017 renewal. They renewed in 2015, and that's the status.
Thank you, Adam. Do we have any questions? Any board member have any questions for Mr. Cruz?
This is I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Miss. Go ahead. Go ahead, Joanna.
Joanna Tran. I have a question for you, sir.
Go
You're the owner, right? So you are responsible. Doesn't matter if we mail it or not. You've been in business for 32 years. That's your responsibility. Second, this is 2018. It's called technology.
Pardon me?
This is 2018.
Yes.
It is technology world now. So there's no paper, mostly anything. Even though that, you are responsible no matter if they mail or not. You see the license every day for 32 years. Doesn't matter. It's your responsibility.
Can I answer your question? Yes, I understand. For 32 years, but for 32 years, you used to send me a mail that my license is going to expire, and I never missed it.
Didn't
And
I
now
just
that
say
you
it's
change-
2018?
Excuse me, let me finish. And now that you change to email or internet, then you judge me for that?
You're the owner.
I cannot have everything in my head that my license was expired. Otherwise, I paid what I gained enough to get late.
Gwen Pramo, Board President. Thank you,
Consideration.
Mr. Cruz. Thank you for coming before us today. But I had one other question. On the establishment license, Adam, is it in bold letters when they expire, or is it in like maybe small letters?
It is displayed where it can be visually seen from individuals looking at the license. And it's in bold italics, I believe.
So, Mr. Cruz, on that license, it has in bold letters, because every 2 years is the renewal.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
it has in bold letters expired. I believe it was June of 2017, 6/30/2017. Maybe the license could be posted somewhere where you can actually kind of like visually maybe walk by to see, in the future. But from what we're hearing from our assistant director, is that the license they haven't had notices in 2 years. There hasn't been any notices sent out to anyone on any license. We know that your license as a licensee expires on your birthday, but the establishment license is renewal for the 2 years. And there's been any notices for anybody in 2 years to any business. So
this is Kai Stanton. Mr. Cruz, thank you for coming. I just wanted to comment on your statement regarding the internet. No one here would ever punish you for not having internet. What we are saying, however, is we must uphold the law, sir. And on the renewals, if you choose not to have the web or Wi-Fi in your salon, absolutely, that is okay. However, there are other options that you can choose by filling out it in paperwork form that you can receive from the State Board office, actually going there. So that's an option as well. The other statement I wanted to say, do you have this book? Okay, this is the Nevada law book for all regulations for cosmetology, for Cosmos, for the establishment, sir. It also states clearly, State Board is not going to send out, we are not required to send out notices at all. So that is a courtesy. We are trying to make things a lot easier by giving you the option to do it on website or do it in person. So you can purchase this law and regulations book as well. We do appreciate you coming. However, we want to make sure that the community, as well as you, I'm sure, want to make sure that all your patrons and all of your employees are safe and everything is up to code. So having said all of that, I do strongly suggest that you have one on hand in the salon. So once again, if you don't choose to have the internet, that's A-okay. You can still go to the State Board office and do it that way, as well as making sure that everyone else is compliant accordingly. And it sounds like you have been, and things have been compliant. Sometimes there's a change in the curve that makes a little, things a little different, but we all have to be accountable for making sure that we are up to par accordingly. And we're here to make sure we uphold those laws. And so because we know you want to do that as well, we want to make sure that all information is given easily. So that's why we have so many options to do so.
No, I understand, and you're correct. I never break the law,
Yes,
and I'm
sir.
trying to do it. My point was that I never break it before. I never run the business without a license because I used to receive a letter telling me my license is going to expire some month, or whatever it's so day. So soon as I received that letter for 32 years, I've been paying my dues.
Mr. Cruz, I further want to, I agree. You have been turning things accordingly. However, moving forward, we are not sending out notices. And so we want to make sure that's clear. That's not going to happen. We're not going to mail them out, is my statement. So we want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to renew accordingly. So that's why those options are put into place.
Do I have any other questions from any board members?
I do. Debbie Ritchie?
Hold on.
Debbie Ritchie?
I thought maybe you would have.
Ms. Cruz.
I'm sorry. I thought maybe you would have a little consideration knowing that
Excuse
I've
me.
never been late.
Excuse me, Ms. Cruz, just 1 second, okay? We're going to have a board member to speak, and then we will allow you to speak, okay?
As a board member, I understand, 30 years you've been in business.
32.
Congratulations
32, ma'am.
to you and your wife.
I have 75, almost.
Yeah, and sometimes when we get a little older, even myself, I'm older, I understand, but as a board, we have to take in consideration the whole operation has moved. There's people that really don't know what to do, and I understand we have to go by the law and recommendation the rules. They all abide, but this man's coming in front of us because he's been paying for 30 years.
32.
32. And I understand you because I don't do internet either. I'm old school. I'm 60 years old.
Yeah.
And you just have to adjust, but just note for the future, I don't know which way the board's going to go with this, but personally, I like to see a drastically reduced fine just because you've been in business 32 years that I applaud you on. And just really note that there will be no notices given to you ever again. This is a new era. This is the millennium. So we have to look at that. Even I step back and go, hey, wait a minute here. This is going to apply. This is all changing. Life evolves. Life happens. And I understand what you're saying. I totally feel your frustration, as there's going to be many more people come before this board that are going to have the same issue. I will guarantee you that. So I just want to state that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I understand your point. I agree with you.
Gwen Bramo, board president.
Wally had to change. But I mean,
Gwen
my point
Bramo,
was this.
Gwen Bramo, board president. I want the board to understand and make sure that they're, being visual when it comes down to the information that has already been given to us. The inspection date is what I understand was 8/23/2017, and the license expired 6/30/2017. So I think what I want the board to understand is the date of the expiration as well as the date of the inspection. We're not just looking at one fine here. There's another citation, citation 5475 for operating with an animal on the premise, another $200 violation. So I want you to be, cognitively aware of it's more than just one violation here.
Debbie Ritchie, can I make a suggestion to you, sir, and your wife? Do you have other people that work in your store, in your salon?
Yes.
Because of such current speed of compliances, changes, again, life happens, I suggest that you appoint somebody in your salon to say, hey, your expiration date is coming up. Because a lot of times, write it down, do whatever you need to do. But can I ask you, you had a dog in the salon?
My turn. I was working that day when the gentleman came in to inspect, and this lady had brought a little dog and a kettle. I looked at her because I was busy. She says, oh, it's a service dog. She says, don't worry about him. I just want to know some prices on my hair so I can make an appointment. But at the time I was busy, that's when he walked in.
Yeah, that's another millennium issue that's arising with us, as everybody knows, is people are getting their pets like they're people. And as far as controlling that, even I can't control that. I have my staff, when a dog enters, immediately go up on them and ask them if they're a service animal. Because there's other things, too, now that are rising with physicians. I know because my husband's a physician, is that people are going in front of psychiatrists and saying they need their pets as they have to be with them 24 hours. So there's a lot of different laws. There's a lot of things coming in this millennium that we're going to have to, as a board, look at. Life happens again. So I just want to state that as well.
This is Kai Stanton. I have a question. So your statement regarding the dog was a service dog? Am I correct? Okay.
So how long was the lady waiting in your salon? Because it looks like the dog was asleep.
I was a little kiddo. I didn't put attention. I know it was a little dog, and I just looked at her when she walked in because I saw her with that dog. And she says, don't worry, it's a service dog. But I was busy trying to get these two customers out so then I can talk to her.
This is Kai Stanton. On the service dog, I notice I don't see a jacket or a covering or some form of notification that states this is a service dog. The dog is actually very cute, very comfortable in his bag. Yeah, but there's nothing that actually signifies this is a service dog. And just viewing this dog, I'm a pet lover myself, this does not indicate to me that this is a service dog.
I don't know anything about that. This has never happened to me before, so I had experience on that. All I knew that she said service dog, and I said, well, I guess it's okay, because I see them in the market, I see them everywhere.
Thank you, Ms. Cruz.
Debbie Ritchie, I would like to ask your husband, do you own a pet?
Did I own a pet?
Yes or no? Do you own a pet?
No, now.
You don't, not now. When did you get rid of your pet?
Oh, a long time ago.
Do you have a dog? You don't own a dog. Was that dog? That dog is clearly in a hairstyling chair. So, and you said the customer walked in and was asking about prices. Did she put the dog down to ask about prices? Who was she speaking with? You?
Yeah,
you were
with
busy.
Me, yeah.
You said you were busy. You said you were busy.
I just turned around and looked, and then she says, "Oh, don't worry, it's a service dog." So I said, "I'll be with you in a little bit," because this lady was in a hurry, and I had another lady waiting. And she says, "I'm only want to know prices so I can make an appointment." I've never seen this lady before in my life.
Taylor Trail McCormick.
Wait, I'm not done yet.
Oh, you're not?
Is this station right next to you, by chance? Is that the station right next to you? Where do you work according to where this dog is placed?
This is the door, and there's the station here, and then mine is the second station.
Okay, and you do not own pets?
There's a reception there.
Do you own pets?
No.
No. Okay, thank you.
Taylor Trail McCormick. So at the time of the citation, when you received the citation for the service animal, or did you know you were getting a citation for You didn't know? You just received it later that you got a citation, so they didn't notify you?
No.
Okay.
If I would have known that, I would have had her show the license or whatever, you know, the proof. I don't know. Because I'm not familiar with none of those things.
I would like to ask the inspector, can you just shed some light on that situation for me, if you can recall?
Yeah. When I walked into the salon, I was doing the routine inspection, noticed the bag, looked in the bag, saw the dog, took a picture of the dog, continued on my inspection. Because she was busy, I didn't want to interrupt what was going on at that point in time. Went to the bathroom to check that area, came back out, and that's where the second picture was taken, where they zipped it up to kind of show that I guess maybe they were hiding the dog, me assuming that. And at that point, I explained to her that you can't have the dog in the salon, and that the license was expired. Told her that she would have been written up for that. She has every right to petition the board for that. And she asked me to mail the citation and the report to her.
So when you first took your picture, it was open, the crate was open. And then when you came back, it was closed.
Yes.
And when you said that they were getting a citation, did she at all say at that time it was a service animal?
Not until I was walking out the door.
Okay. Yeah. So that's basically what I wanted to just notate. Did you see that this dog was performing any specific function, or was it?
No, it was just asleep, like the picture stated.
All right, thank you.
It's Joanna Tran. David, when you came in and saw the dog, did you ask the owner if it belonged to her or a client?
I did not ask who it belonged to. In the law, it just states no animal at all. It doesn't really state who the owner is. I just said she can't have a dog. At that point, I ended up doing the citation.
I think that we discussed about this before, about the service animal situation. It's very kind of loopy right now. You really can't ask for any documentations because it's kind of loopy right now. So a lot of people are actually taking advantage of that too, which we all know that. Yeah. But we, as the law, we really can't ask. But my question was, why didn't you ask if it belonged to the client or her as the owner? Yeah. That's all I'm asking.
Yep.
I did not ask who it belonged to.
Gwen Bramo, Board President. My question is, when you actually walked into the establishment and you seen the animal appeared to be belonging to someone, was it a customer standing there asking a question?
There was a licensee that was at that station, and she was not really doing anything, just kind of standing there.
Thank you.
So was there, Debbie Ritchie, was there a customer standing there that you recall? Yeah, that would be, that's going to decide what I decide. And if you're not sure, please say you're not sure.
No, I mean, I remember her working on customers, but I don't remember a customer at that location where that dog was.
Tia Latrell McCormick, the point that I'd like to make is that a service animal cannot perform its duties in a closed container. And so that's pretty much the end of it. A service animal needs to be able to perform its functions. When you came out of when you came back and you saw that that container was closed, that is the end of it. But I do want to state that the law as it pertains to service animals currently does state that you have the right to ask if it is a service animal and what capacity that service animal performs, or what service that animal does perform for you. So those are just two things that I'd like the board to know.
Debbie Ritchie, that is true. However, you can ask the Deputy Attorney General that there's a very gray area. Am I not mistaken?
Yeah. Very.
I do believe it is a gray area, but I do believe that Board Member McCormick is correct that you are allowed to ask, particularly if it is a business and you are performing some sort of service or there is some sort
Exactly,
of
but
violation.
it does open up the door to a lawsuit.
But that said, there are support animals. I do also know that there are there's service animals and emotional support animals, so there are a growing number of categories here. And I am not particularly an expert on, ADA law as it pertains to support animals, but I do believe it is a gray area.
Okay, Board.
Debbie Ritchie, I just want to say one last thing, and that is when we're talking about gray areas, understand that we are giving, as a board, violations to people that are breaking the law, okay? And we all understand that. However, we also have to take in consideration that he's not sure if there was a customer if that was a real customer's dog or not. We don't know. So we really don't have all the facts, really. So how are we going to hold up these fines to what we're not sure of? And the other thing is that I really recommend that we drastically reduce the fine to Gloria's Hair Salon because they've been in business 32 years, and maybe this will teach them a valuable lesson that if they can't remember, they need to get somebody in charge that can remember, and just be very aware of what we're voting on in both of these issues.
Gwen Bramo, Board President. I want the board to understand, I want to make sure that everybody understands that there's two violations on the table here. Right. One violation is for a license, establishment license that expired on 6/30/2017, but the inspector didn't walk into the business until 8/23/2017, so almost 2 months. Then I also want the board to understand the testimony from our inspector stating that he did not see, he only seen a licensee standing there.
If I may, Madam President, board members, just to clarify, the standard that you should be using is basically the preponderance of the evidence on one way or the other, whether the evidence weighs in favor of upholding the citation or mitigating the citation fines in some way or the other.
Okay. Because of the preponderance of the evidence, I want to be able to make a motion to uphold the penalty given under NAC 644.700 of $200 for the citation 5474, and uphold the penalty under and fine given under NAC .700 of $200 for the violation of 5475.
Debbie Ritchie would like to amend that. Is that what I would say? Is that what I would say? Motion to amend. You want to carry out both of them being where they'd have to have the fees paid $400 for both violations. Is this what I'm understanding to the board?
I believe it's two different separate violations at 200.
Violations that add up to 400. And given to what is presented to us, I'm recommending that it's a $100 reduced fine on both, because one, we're not sure if it belonged to a customer or not. And the first one on NAC 644.700 is just giving them consideration. They've been in business 32 years, have never been cited, and they're getting up there in age. I mean, as a board, I think we need to have a little bit of compassion. So I'm saying NAC 644.700, fine of $100, and NAC 644.700, fine of $100, due and payable in 30 days.
So what I'm hearing, you have a question before we make a motion? A comment?
I'm not sure if it's a comment or
a comment.
Question. But first, I just want to let David know that, you do have the right just to ask who the dog belongs to. But about the gray area, about the service, that you probably, understand that.
Board Member Tran, to your point, I know David and Pam and a lot of other inspectors, we've had this conversation sort of as an aside as well. For the reason that Ms. Ritchie pointed out, everybody now brings their pets in under some guise of it being a service animal. It's our understanding that the ADA does allow you to say, is this a service animal? What service does it provide? Emotional support animals, conversely, fall outside of the ADA's protection. So one of the reasons I believe Mr. Scarpelli didn't say, hey, is this a service animal, is he's given them the out to say, oh, yeah, it is. If he would say to them, there's an animal here, and they say, oh, yeah, it's my emotional support pet, that's still your pet. Do you know what I mean? So I think, to your question, it wasn't that he was trying to be evasive or not direct. I think he just wanted to give them the ability to come to him versus him give them the answer, if that makes sense. Thank you.
I wasn't asked, because about that, it's just, we just wanted to clarify, was it a client or the owner? That's it. Because the owner is saying it's the client, but he didn't see a client. So that's what's just,
because of the
I want to
preponderance of the
clarify that.
evidence.
Yeah, I just want to clarify that. That's it.
Taylor Trammell McCormick,
But with the fine, because it's the gray area with the dog, that I think we can reduce that or waive it. But on the establishment of the renewal of the license, it is a must fine.
Yeah, the reason, Debbie Richard, the reason why I said reduce that is because we're kind of leveling out the board here. It's the same thing what you just said. It would be the same amount of money, but I agree.
Two different citations, right? Two different.
Yeah.
So
Okay, board, let's start over. I would like to make a motion to uphold the penalty under NAC 644.700 for the citation 5474. The $200 to be paid 30 days, within 30 days of the service date for the expired salon establishment license. Can I get a motion?
Motion, Joanna Tran.
Can I get a second?
Kai Stanton, I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carry. Now we can do the second violation. I would like to make a motion to uphold the penalty given under NAC 644.700 of $200, citation number 5475.
Debbie Ritchie, I'd like to make a motion, NAC 644.700, to have it totally waived.
Brian Baltazar, I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye. Nay.
Any opposed?
Nay.
I'm a nay.
2 nays.
How many nays? How many favor? Okay, we're going to say it again. Okay, we're going to revote that one.
Why don't we redo
Let's re-say it. Okay.
Redo it.
I'm going to redo it.
Perfect.
I would like to make a motion to uphold the penalty given under NAC 644.700 of $200 for citation 5475. That citation is for having an animal on the premises. Do I have a motion?
Are you asking that we're waiving it or we're
That they need to pay the 200.
for the dog?
Do I have anyone that wants to?
This is Kai Stanton. Oh, I'm sorry.
Do we have anyone that want to amend the motion?
I do. I don't know how to say it.
Just propose amended motion.
I propose to amend the motion to reduce the fine or the citation for the dog, which is what, $100 or something.
It's a
like
$200 fine.
So it'll be half of that.
I second that motion, Debbie Ritchie.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
So 4-3?
I didn't vote.
You didn't vote.
I can. Motion carries.
Carries of.
So the motion is,
It's reduced to $100.
it's reduced to $100.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understand. Okay.
Second
All right.
fine is reduced to $100.
Okay. That's it.
We just.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yeah, it's Greg Ott up north.
Apologize for the interruption, Madam Chair. I just wanted to bring it to the attention that Ms. Pham, who was the subject of the complaint in item 6, is now in the room in the north. I know that that matter has already been determined and decided by default by the board, but I wanted to bring her attention I wanted to bring her presence to your attention in case you had any questions or wanted to take any action.
Yes, I would love to. I think the board would love to hear from her because we did have questions. Is it too late for us to either bring her back next time or maybe amend, listen to, because there is some question about that particular individual license?
Deputy Attorney General Greg Ott. So this was a contested case, and the state already established a case, and there is an opinion by the board. So I think before the board would do anything with regard to her, with regard to amending its prior decision, the state should have a chance to object. So I would recommend asking Mr. Bala if he had any objections to hearing from her.
Thank you, Mr. Ott. The state has no objection to reopening the case if the board would like to hear from Ms. Pham.
I think the board would like to hear, we just had a question, and that question, probably is this for staff.
This is, it's up to the discretion of the board. It's
Can I just ask staff a question?
No.
Or do we have to hear the whole case?
I think that would be problematic given that, we already heard it, and then there's open meeting law issues that are involved with, revisiting, just an issue on one question like that. But if the board would like to, reopen the case and fully hear from Ms. Pham, then the state has no.
Can we just talk him on the board, cut our mics off, and just have a question?
No.
We can't do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
May make a comment?
I think Mr. Ott has some guidance up north.
No,
No?
we're not going to open it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Ott, did you get that?
Council,
So,
up north?
I'm sorry, did I hear that the decision of the board is not to reopen item 6 and to let the default stand?
Yes.
Okay, that is now on the record, so Ms. Pham can be apprised that the item will not be heard again today. It was already heard before you appeared, and a decision will be mailed to you.
Thank you, Mr. Ott.
Thank you, Council.
We can, what?
So the next is petition number 12. We have an appeal citation. You want to speak, Mr. Bala?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. The next case, and thank you, board members. The next case before us is the Nevada State Board of Cosmetology, a petition to appeal a citation from Mr. Rick Friend, owner of Fantastic Sam's. Mr. Friend, if you would like to please join us up here. Anywhere you feel comfortable. So Mr. Friend is appealing citation 5804 issued on September 19, 2017 during a routine inspection by Mr. Inspector David Scarpelli regarding a lapsed establishment license. The renewal date was August 3rd, 2017. And is for a violation of 644-430 subsection 1 subsection L. The Office of the Attorney General simply asks that the fine be upheld. It's a fine for $200, and I would provide Mr. Friend the opportunity to make any statements at this time, and the inspector is available afterwards to respond to any questions.
Okay, can we have Mr. Friend sworn in, please?
Swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth.
You will just hit your mic whenever you're ready to speak. The button.
Mr. Friend, would you like to present your case?
Yes, thank you. I'm here today not to dispute that I let my license expire, which is totally my responsibility. I'm here to ask for understanding that when State Board chose to change the method in which they notify people, which they did, I guess, 2016, and we renew every 2 years, and for 18 years, I've been in business 18 years, never been in default, always been on time. And I respectfully, just listening to some of the dialogue preceding, my sitting here, I'm not disputing who's responsible. There's no question that this is the owner's responsibility. What I do have a problem with is the manner in which it was done, which I believe you'll probably have a lot of these type of cases, because we came to rely on the notices in the mail. That probably shouldn't, but we do. It was nice to get a reminder or a renewal notice. So now that that changed, I'm just asking that this first instance be understood as an oversight. And going forward, I completely acknowledge that this is my responsibility. I mean, it's ultimately my responsibility to renew on time. But I think that the transition, when the board went from mailing to notifying through the internet or whatever other means they might use, it would have been nice to have some sort of grace period or transition to understand that we're changing a long time practice for years in this town. And owners like myself that have been in business for 18 years were just asking for that type of understanding and either waiving the fine or reducing it.
Hi, Rick. Debbie Ritchie. First, I want to say thank you so much for coming here on behalf of all the salon owners in the Valley. I personally have the same feeling you do. There should be some sort of something's going to change to give them notice that we're changing the way we do business, not just surprise, here's your fine. And I understand totally that we have to abide the law. The law is the law. I get that. Again, with the millennium, the way people do business now, it's all online. I'm hit all the time. I have spaces I rent space from that all of a sudden won't even send me a bill anymore, and I won't even pay the rent. And I said, wait a minute, why am I getting a notice? Because we've changed the way we do business. Well, why don't you change the way, I've been your good customer for years. Why can't you give me a heads up at least one time, or at least tell me when this change occurs, and have some kind of compassion with, I mean, gosh, I mean, is this the way we want to rule our board? Uncompassionate? I mean, I don't operate that way. But I do believe in the law, but there should be, because, and I'm speaking for a lot of salon owners. I don't know a lot of salon owners, but I can tell you that it's almost, in a way to me, a way to fine and really get away with it, because we don't do our due diligence.
Gwen Bramo,
Needed
board
to know
member.
when it was due, and we all know that. But I really want to commend you for coming forth and for the people.
Gwen Bramo, board president. I think we all have compassion here, And I do totally understand. I'm a business owner as well. Looking at the citation, and I think it's consistently, when I read through this board packet, I could see a 30-day, maybe we can do something, but the majority of these are over 30 days. So I think what we have to do is maybe as staff, we can meet with staff and eventually come up with something that we could possibly do to help support. And I applaud you for taking your time out in your busy schedule.
I also want to say that it's not a yearly renewal, it's every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy. I mean, I could think over the years when I used to get, geez, is this the year we renew? It's almost hard to know what year you're on. So I just think it was problematic to administer it the way it was done. But I understand it's a changing world, and going forward, this is what we can all expect. But I'm really just here to ask some sort of, I think it's excessively punitive to the penalty for someone who's never had a problem in 18 years, and it was a method problem, the way it was done, not the fact that the law is the law. The law is law, and I'm responsible. So I'm just here to express.
Debbie Ritchie, I just want to tell you, Rick Friend, that we just heard another case before you that we fully cited him the $200. Are you here to ask for pretty much the same thing they are? Because I mean, the board's already definitely voted against that, so that's where my vote's going to go with that. But I would hope that you're here to make a difference, that we can change.
That's okay.
And create something within a 30-day process or something like Gwen stated. Because I know you're really not $200.
I was in the room during the prior testimony, and it sounded like the other offense did have an effect on how you're going to decide on the expiration. Well, mine stands alone.
How does yours stand alone from this to that?
Well,
the last one, it's the same
prior
thing.
one,
You didn't.
he was fined the $200 because you're going to forgive the other offense, which. And it sounded like if it stood alone, maybe it would have affected the decision a different way.
I understand what you're saying, but I really don't think the panel here voted that way. I really think they did it separately. And they really are very clear on if your license is expired, you're going to pay the fine, and I fully agree. Yeah. However, I'm hoping that you're going to create something for the future while you're here so we can put into process something that, like Gwen stated, that we can give a 30-day, something, because you're not going to be the last one. Trust me. 2 years is approaching, and it's going to be a lot more. And that's a great way for us to create revenue. But, I mean, it's also we need to really look at this. And pay
This is Kai
attention to this.
Stanton. I have a question for you, Mr. Friend. Excuse me, I apologize. How long have you had your salon?
18 years. Well, I had several,
years.
but that's
In the
a
same
lot.
location?
Yes.
Great. Okay. And when did we mail those notices out?
This one is 2016 or so, when the salons were stopped noticed. Stopped receiving the
And
paper
was
notice.
there a notice stating that we're transferring over to online?
I don't recall. There was a different supervisor over that department at that time.
I never got any notice that this was ever occurring.
I can confirm for the individuals.
Okay, and when we mailed out, what did we mail out? Didn't we mail out some information?
Yes, this one was for all individual licenses that were expiring in 2017.
Okay, and you are currently not licensed, right, Mr. Friend, as a Cosmo?
Not me. My wife, not me.
Okay. So how many stylists do you have in the salon, if you don't mind me asking?
8.
8? Okay. Thank you.
Madam President, there is a policy that currently is in place for salons that are expired within 30 days. Compliance Coordinator Leah Easter can speak more clearly about that.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yep, so I know Mr. Scarpelli issued the citation in this one, and to your point, it was beyond the 30-day window. If your license expired and you're still 30 days or less, the inspectors, I believe, have had they've gotten into the habit of saying, hey, you're expired, it's only the 30 days, please call the office right away. But there's no $200 citation associated. So you do sort of have, I hate to call it a grace period, but a 30-day window before that $200 does kick in.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that. I think the board's happy to hear that. Any more questions?
They come in to the salon.
I think they will give them that courtesy even, do they give courtesy call?
No. So in
You
this
have
case,
the 30 days.
correct. Had
So
Mr.
there is a
Scarpelli been
30-day
there
grace.
earlier.
Taylor McCormick, I want us to be careful as a board not to shift the burden of responsibility to our inspectors and to this board to take responsibility for the salon owners and licensees.
Exactly.
They are responsible for maintaining their license. And we are starting to get into an area where you're talking about the last case, which the gentleman mentioned, and we need to understand that we are setting a precedent. If you did not renew your license, it shouldn't matter whether you've been in business for 30 years or 5 months. You are now a salon owner, and you are responsible to uphold and maintain your license.
Debbie Ritchie, I think we know that.
But I
honey.
wasn't done either.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I think that what's important for us to understand is that it can't be based on, I understand you've been in business for a certain amount of time. It can't be that, hey, we could introduce some new laws or some new regulations to help these. I think that the progress we've made moving online has been a seamless and wonderful one. I think that the people who are renewing online are living proof that it works, and they're responsible for maintaining their licenses. So how do we negate the fact that it's working for the majority, and for those who neglect to renew online, we're going to just keep giving reductions? I don't think that is holding the line.
No, Debbie Ritchie, it's
No,
about,
excuse me,
but
board.
let
Let
me
the
just say
gentleman
one thing. It's about, it is about long-term cutting time for all of us, correct? And it's about if we look to the future, I just personally think, I'm not asking for any, I'm not going to give him a lenience. What I'm asking for is something to be mailed out, a simple stamp that shows good business faith, that somebody that's been a customer with us, that just gets something mailed out to where we're no longer giving out formal notices. That's all I'm saying. That's it. It's very simple. There's nothing hard here.
Okay, board, this is a conversation we can have at another time. Let's move forward. I want to be able to make a motion to uphold the penalty given under NAC .700 for $200 being paid within 90 days of receiving notice from the board.
I second the motion, Debbie Ritchie.
All in favor?
Aye. Joanna.
Any opposed?
Wait.
Motion carry.
Oh, wait. It's okay? Oh. I, Joanna Tran, so what you say? Oppose the amendment? Is that what?
Proposal
to
vote on the motion, so I think some people voted for it, or
I didn't vote. I was gonna make a comment before they made that.
Okay, you want go
That
ahead and
what-
make a comment. I'll read.
Yeah. I agree on the fine, but the payment needs to be paid in 30 days instead of 90 days.
there should be a vote on the proposed amendment.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to do that before they start doing that, voting.
Okay, I'm going to restate the motion. I would like to make a motion to uphold the penalty given under NAC 644.700, and I want the penalty to be paid within 30 days of receiving notice from the board. Can I get a motion?
Motion,
Second
Joanna
that
Tran.
motion, Debbie Ritchie.
Asking for an original motion, or?
No, she just
'cause I
said,
think
she
there's
just
some
said 90
confusion.
days.
I stated the motion.
You said 30 days.
30
Yeah, it's
days.
30 days now, so I'm asking
90
to amend
30
it.
days. No, I second that.
You want 30 days.
30 days.
That's what I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carry. Thank you.
Madam President, the next item 13, petition to appear, citation appeal Tan Van Tai. The respondent has agreed to pay the fine, and so we can just move on to the next petition to appear.
And then is Mr. McConnell here? There's no Mr. McConnell?
Deputy Ott, is there a Mr. McConnell up in the north?
There is no one answering to that name in the north.
Thank you very much. I think as such we can just move on to the next case, and we can call, this is Leslie Colleen Fisher, owner of Lesage Family Salon. Ms. Fisher, are you present here or in the north?
Hi, Charlene Marsh, Inspector. Leslie Fisher.
Good morning, Ms. Marsh.
Good morning. Leslie Fisher called and said that she had decided not to fight this. I got a call from her December 20th, and I did ask her to email Monica to let her know, but we haven't heard anything else, but she did pay the fine.
Thank you, Ms. Marsh.
Thank you. So we're moving on to petition to appear number 17, Natalie Heatley.
Can I ask a question real quick? Can I have a question real quick, sir?
Yeah, Ms. Marsh, sorry, could you hit your microphone button up there, I think, is... Thank you.
Well, my question was on the 14 that you skipped.
Yes.
Why was that?
So these are petitions to appear where respondents have been given a citation, and it's really up to them to come before the board because they want to plead some sort of mitigation, as opposed to the first two cases which we heard, which were formal notices and complaints that the Office of the Attorney General is bringing forward before the board. So in these cases where they are petitions to appear on citation appeals, essentially, they have the opportunity to come here and plead their case, and if they don't, the fine is simply upheld because they haven't taken any action to actually contest the initial citation that was appealed.
Thank you.
Correct. Correct, and no motion is necessary because the board is not taking any further action. We're simply providing them the opportunity to appear if they so choose.
So there's on petition number 17, there's no Natalie Heatley.
Sorry, I think we have to go back to 16.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So yeah, item 16 is citation appeal of Miss Deborah Daniel.
Is there Deborah Danielle? Was it Danelli?
She is present in the north and approaching the stand. Go ahead and take a seat.
Thank you, Mr. Ott. Sorry, just one moment here. Thank you, Madam President, board members. This is item number 13. Ms. Deborah Danielle, my apologies if I'm not saying that correctly, is appealing citation 5980 issued on October 10th, 2017 during a routine inspection by Inspector Charlene Marsh for a lapsed cosmetology license, the renewal date of which was July 5th, 2017, and the grounds for discipline are authorized under 644-430. I would now like to give Ms. Danielle the opportunity to present any statements or arguments that she has, and Ms. Inspector Marsh is also up north in case the board has any questions. However, Ms. Marsh will have to be sworn in if you have any questions.
Absolutely, Ms. Marsh as well as Ms. Danielle. Can we swear Ms. Marsh in? She's already been sworn in. Have you, Ms. Marsh?
I don't think so.
Okay, wonderful. We'll swear you in now.
Okay. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to hear will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah. Ms. Danielle, could you also stand and rise? Sure. Raise your right hand.
solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Danielle, the floor is now yours to present any statements you may have.
Well, I realize based on past testimonies here, it's probably a, well, anyway, I stand with Rick. I listened to his testimony, and he pretty much validated the situation with me as well. Life goes. I've got a history of, paying my fines and being in business for a very long time. Clearly, it just went past me, and this lovely lady over here approached me, looked at me, and just felt terrible that I had an outdated license, and as did I, because I could have sworn, number one, that I paid it, and then I went back and looked at my records because time just went flying by. They did send a notice to me. However, it was to my attention that they sent it to the wrong address, which tells me that there's some, there's a mistake on that end. Again, going back to why I'm even here, because it was told to me that there's possibly a chance that they might be willing to adjust or credit my $700 bill. In that, and so I guess I'm just petitioning the court for some kind of mercy, if you will, for the same reasons that Rick said, and I realize that we're all responsible for our own licensing, but based on what's been going on here, I'm imagining that this is your stand. But I do think that there's something to be said for our profession and the folks that are representing us here in this profession, that you do and are capable and willing to adjust things as you have done so in the past. So I've heard. I'm here because I thought at the time that I would contest this, I was told that it would be a possibility that you could increase the fine, and I thought I better pay it. I couldn't afford to take the chance of not coming before you. So here I am. And yes, I'm very busy. I appreciate what you guys are doing. Thank you for representing us as cosmetologists and salon owners and businesses. I am just pleading that perhaps you could work with me somewhere, somehow, make some kinds of adjustments. And that's why I decided to come before you and judge your compassion. And I stand rested on what I have to say.
Thank you. And Council, that was 16, a petition to appear. I thought you said 13, but it's actually 16, right?
Correct.
Okay, right. I just wanted to make 16.
My apologies.
That's okay. We're looking out for you. I want the board to understand that we know now that it appears that we need to maybe have a conversation, but at this time I applaud you for taking your time out. I mean, we sometimes have to, in our busy schedule, we do get the information of the inspection date as well as the date of the expiration. And it was said before by our compliance person, if it's within that 30-day window, they kind of give you the opportunity. But because it was months later, and I do understand busy, but there's some things that we as a board can discuss later with our staff. But at this time, board, I want you to understand that this is, the law, that we have to uphold the law. And I want to hereby make a motion to uphold the penalty given under NAC 644.700 for $200 paid within the 90 days.
I second that motion. Debbie Ritchie, paid within.
I have a question real quick, Joanna Tran. I heard her say earlier that her fine was $700.
No, it's $200.
She said $700.
No, she said it could be up to.
She said $700.
No,
I'm just saying, that she said $700.
Can I
so
speak?
I just want to clear that.
Can I speak?
Yes.
May I speak?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
Well, the fine I paid in full, but I had to pay late fees, and I had to pay the license fee. I had to pay because I was past 30 days, and I had to pay the establishment fee. That totaled $700.
Where does
You know what? I don't have any figures with me, but I do know that the lady who received the money is here. She saw my meltdown and experienced my devastation financially.
Let me ask this one question. Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
I want to ask the question to Adam, our assistant director. Adam, with the establishment fine, along with practicing as a licensed cosmetologist with the expired license. So Ms. Danielle holds the license. Am I pronouncing your name right? Can you pronounce it for me?
Sorry, Deborah Donnell.
Oh, Danielle. Okay, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it.
Thank
I
you.
didn't mispronounce it. Ms. Danielle, with her license, did she also have it was an establishment license and a cosmetologist license, and she was charged the late fee, the $20 a month?
On November 8th, 2017, the applicant paid $100 in late fees for a total of $170.
For both licenses, she's paid late
For
fee.
her individual license?
Oh, so you didn't get your renewal, Ms. Danielle, for your individual license? 'Cause
The
they
one that you
expire
mail,
right
the
on
one
the
that
birthday.
the one that you mail out, as far as renewal.
The one that expires on your birthday.
I'm sorry. Are you asking me if I got any notice? I'm asking.
Right. Remember? Do you remember? Did you remember that your individual license expired on your birthday?
Oh yes, I know. Well, of course they all expire on birthdays, so I do remember that. What the problem is that it came and went. I thought I had paid my license, and only to discover that it had been 2 years already. And
Ms. President,
I have the inspector who wrote me up here who has comments that she'd like to make, and maybe she could do that.
Oh.
Yes, she can. Can we hear from the inspector, please?
wait.
Hi, this is Charlene Marsh. She also paid the citation and fine that was issued to the salon she works at. That was part of the money she was talking about.
Okay, but we're not on that subject though, right? We're on the current of the $200 though. We're not going back that. I don't know why we're wasting time on that though. Can we move on to the next, the $200, please? Thank you.
Oh, the other fines are also not on appeal at issue here, so those would have to be separately appealed. The $200 appeal is the one in front of us right now.
Okay, Bert, I understand. So the focus, if we had question about the 700,
Right, that's all I wanted to
I
know.
think that kind of clarifies it, because I
Right.
think that's what brought the issue up.
Because I
was
heard
the-
700, but
Okay, so
but
if
she's
they're,
saying that this is what she already paid, so we're not talking about that right now, so it was clear. So
Okay,
let's move on
so-
to the fine of the $200 that she owes right now.
that's what we're talking about.
Exactly, so let's move on to that.
Okay, let's not get confused. The $700 it's a total of combined monies that she would be paying totally. So right now the issue is that the expired license.
No. She already paid those already. The $700.
I would like to make a
she's
motion to uphold the penalty given under NAC 644.700 for the $200. I would like to make the motion that the penalty of the $200 be paid within 90 days.
I will second that motion, Debbie Ritchie.
Motion, and all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays?
Well, then why are
Motion
they saying that?
carries.
Formality.
Ma'am, what the board has already approved is that your license was expired.
Right.
There's a $200 fine.
Paid.
And the fine is due upon receipt the 90 days instead of the 30?
Yep, I think there's some confusion. I believe Ms. Daniel, she's already paid the $200.
I've paid
so that
everything.
Was her confusion. Correct. She's paid up. She was just challenging the
Asking
$200
credit.
that she'd already paid.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Right. Pretty, can I speak?
So we're denying credit?
I would.
When do we?
May I speak?
Because
No.
we're
Let us,
confused right now.
Excuse me, Ms. Board, let me speak. So you're here to deny, or you're here asking for credit back?
I'm here just seeing if there's a chance that there could be some, is it restitution the right word? Credit, any kind of mercy? I know I realize that there has been a lot of mistakes on my part. I've paid a lot of money in the fact that because of an oversight. And so I'm just asking if perhaps you could work with me here somehow, maybe give me an extra year to pay my, I know. I'm just needing a little, I just want to discuss the matter with you guys. Since I'm here, I almost got up and walked out because I could see that you guys are, you know, I almost didn't come. And I certainly can't afford to pay any more. I was just hoping if you can work with me, that's all. Yes, Debbie.
Ma'am, I just want to let you know that we all have compassion for you. And as you sat there the whole time you've been there waiting to get your turn, you have witnessed what we've done for the people before you. So
Right.
you're asking for us to do something different for you, and I don't think the board will do that at all.
Right.
But I just know I feel for you, but moving forward, I don't think there should be any credit, only because we haven't given it to anybody else, so why would we start with you? What I do agree that we need to do is look at, for establishment licenses, you're not even yours is a licensee.
Yes.
It's not a business license, salon owner license, so it's a whole different venue here, so.
So Council, I'm asking the question, Gwen Bramo, President. Are we voting not to give the credit?
Yes, correct. In this situation, the respondent the licensee has already paid the fine and is simply asking for that fine to be waived or some sort of credit. I believe the motion that the board has already made, which is to affirm the fine, is sufficient for the situation because she did appeal the $200, and so that's the only issue at bar here.
Right, so she's done.
Correct.
Okay, so I think the board has upheld the decision that the $200 is the fine, and we appreciate you coming out to speak on your behalf today.
So are we even? I
don't believe there's a credit, is what you're asking.
That's correct. I got that part. Okay. I just wanted
Right,
to.
it's non-refundable.
I just wanted you guys
Thank
to. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, board members. The next petition to appear, a citation appeal before us, is from Miss Natalie Hetley, owner of Yasmin Hair Salon, license S13693, appealing citation 6222. Miss Heatley, are you here present in the south, or Deputy Ott, is there anybody present up north?
There is no one in the north responding to that name.
Thank you very much. As such, Madam President, I think we can move to the next item on the agenda, which is the petition to appear, citation appeal for Miss Anna Buckner, owner of Hair It Goes Again Salon, license S8875, appealing citation 5323. Ms. Buckner, are you here present in the south or present up north?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. If you give me a minute and I will make a short presentation.
Mr. Bala, will you want to present this case?
Yes. Sorry for the delay, Madam
Okay.
President. Anna Buckner is the owner of Hair It Goes Again Salon, is appealing citation 5323, which was issued on August 1st, 2017 during a routine inspection by Inspector Charlene Marsh for a lapsed establishment license. The renewal date was June 30th, 2017. The grounds for violation are under NRS 644.430, subsection L, subsection 1. Inspector Marsh is present up north if you have any questions, but at this time I would like to provide Ms. Buckner the opportunity to make any statements for the board.
Hi, Ms. Buckner.
And
We would
she
like
should-
to have you sworn in.
Solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes. Well, I'm not going to ask for anything. I sat here and listened to this all day and, or this morning. Thank you, board members, for serving. I am the 6th or 7th one on the agenda today about the lapse in the salon establishment license because of the new renewal that the board has decided that how we go about renewing our license. I am pleading for the older people that have been in business. I've been in business for 37 years in the same salon, and I will accept my fine. I called the day I was told that my license expired and renewed it over the phone and paid the penalty. I now will pay the fine since you've established that that is what is going to happen, but you really should have notified us some other way. I did not get anything by email, and I do have Wi-Fi or internet access, and I didn't get anything by mail. I did get something by mail the month before to renew my personal license, which I did. And I'm sorry, after 37 years, do I remember every 2 years that I'm supposed to renew these licenses? No, I must be notified somehow. And therefore, because you changed the rules, we get penalized. So thank you.
Thank you for taking your time out to come before the board, and we are listening at your comment.
Okay. This is Kai Stanton. Did she leave?
Yes, she left already.
Okay, then.
She's still present.
I'm here and I'm listening.
This is Kai Stanton. I'm sorry, I didn't see you on the screen. I do want to commend you on coming. Please don't think that the board is being in any type of way not compassionate. A lot of us hold license. A lot of us, are currently working in that field, et cetera. What is happening is we're trying to make sure that we are upholding the law, and I'm glad that you made that point. In the past, I've heard that being said, things have been done differently. We want to do things not according to our own beliefs or how we're feeling. We need to do things according to law. And that's what we're doing. I have no problems with adjusting things according to law. That way, if anyone else comes before us and says, this is a similar situation, we do not have any misunderstandings on why I reduced one fine, but I can't really explain why I didn't do it for the other person. And that leads into a road of a lot of misconceptions, misunderstandings, etc. And as upholding the law should not be interpreted to each individual's understanding, but according to what is written. So that is what we're doing. We appreciate you coming out. We value your time, just like you value your customers. And I know you want to give them 110% of excellence, just as you are doing now. And we appreciate your conversation. We do take account on what has been done in the past, and we are making sure that we are remaining the professional everyone, the community has called us to be, to uphold this cosmetology as a profession and not a second trade individual profession. We want to make sure that we are also representing the excellence that you service your clients as well. So thank you for coming.
And I think the board should make a motion to uphold or to deny the appeal based on the fact that respondent did.
The board will now make a motion to uphold the citation. In our NAC 644.700 for the fine of $200 to be paid within the 30 days date of service.
Debbie Ritchie, second that motion.
Any all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
We're number 19. That's Jacqueline Cameron. Be careful.
I would like to recuse myself, Debbie Ritchie, from this position, from this case.
Mr. Bala, you want to present? Oh, we want to have Ms. Cameron sworn in.
Solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President, board members. This is item 19. Ms. Cameron, license C13544, is appealing citation number 6434, issued on November 30th, 2017, during a routine inspection by Inspector Pam Hayes Fitzgerald for a lapsed cosmetology license. The renewal date was August 14th, 2017. It's a violation of NRS 644-430. I believe Inspector Hayes Fitzgerald is here in case there are any questions, but at this time I would like to provide Ms. Cameron the opportunity to make any statements before the board.
I'm not taking responsibility for my license expiring. I just want to mitigate passion and a reduction because I've had a lot of hardships with my leg and surgery, and I had taken my
Press the button. I'm sorry. Yes. I think she has to get sworn in.
No, I did get. I took my infectious disease test back on July 24th. I believe that was the date. Yeah, the 24th. In attempting to do my license, but I ran into difficulty online doing it. Also, the day I received the citation, I tried to go do it that day on a Thursday, which was the 30th, I believe. Yeah, November 30th. And I wasn't able to obtain documentation online or certification on my infectious disease test. Therefore, it made me go into another month, reoccurring another $20 fine to retrieve it at home because you guys are closed on Friday, having to wait till Monday because online, again, the new system is not efficient, and I wasn't able to obtain documentation for infectious disease documentation to even complete it that day, nor could I contact anybody or reach anybody at the cosmetology ward because I would just continually get a recording saying that it would take, I don't know, up to 2 weeks to respond to whatever my question was. And so I'm asking for some compassion and a reduction in the fine because I also have to complete restitution with the salon owner in this case. But I have documentation showing how long I've been out of work, my surgery, my rehabilitation, and all this in general.
Hey, can we hear from, can we swear in the inspector? I think the board needs to actually hear from the inspector as well when she went into the place of of business.
My name is Pamela Hayes Fitzgerald.
Hi, when you walked into the salon of Miss Cameron, what did you actually see?
Her working on a lady's hair, and I asked where her license was, and then she started telling me I was about to send in my infection control. Da 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 da. I was like, "Well, what's your name? I can look you up," because she couldn't show me the license. And then when I looked her up, I seen she had expired. It was over a year she had expired.
No, it was 3 months. Sorry.
So anyway, I said, okay, so you're over 30 days, and according to the law, anything that's over 30 days, we have to write a citation. And then that's when she started telling me what she's telling you guys. So I said, unfortunately, I have to write the citation. I'm sorry.
Okay, can we, Adam, is there any way we can, so that we can have like the full disclosure of everything before we, as a board, can we find out the license actual expiration?
I'm confirming right now, Madam President. According to our records, August 14th, 2017, and the inspection occurred November 30th, 2017. The individual renewed their license on December 4th, 2017.
Any board members have any questions?
Sorry, I missed.
Teal McCormick, thanks for coming before us today. Did you contact the board office after you made your attempt online with your infection control?
No, between going to the doctors and receiving therapy, I still have problems with my leg. But no, I just attempted online and took my test and ran into problems.
Well,
and then something came up and I didn't complete to go. I didn't even know the office had moved.
Well, you know, I asked if you attempted to contact. That could be via phone, so
Well,
the answer is no.
I did attempt, but it was, again, the 2 weeks in receiving any kind of response in regards to that. Just like when I went online to receive, the day I received the citation on the 30th of November, I could have went down to the state board that Thursday, and you're closed Friday, to complete the licensing after being fined the citation or given the citation. But I had to go to my home to retrieve the citation documentation for the infectious disease certification. Even when I went down the following Monday to finish my licensing on the December 4th, if I wouldn't have had that, the girl couldn't pull it up that I was going through my licensing with.
Okay, so you said that you tried to contact the board office, and you've been working since then, correct?
Well, partially. I have documentation showing
Have you been working?
surgery. Yes.
Okay, and you
Part of
drive
it.
to work, I assume?
Pardon?
You drive to work?
No, I was given rides to work.
Okay, so basically, you know that these things are done online. If you didn't receive if you said that there was a glitch and after the 2 weeks, no one contacted you, this is a 3-month time span here from the time that your license.
I'm not trying to dismiss responsibility.
Okay.
I was just asking for a reduction because of hardship.
I'm trying to understand the hardship in renewing online.
I'm saying I wasn't in work full time. I was disabled.
I understand,
Okay.
but the ability to renew, when you filled out your petition to appear, it was online, correct?
Yes.
So you have the ability to access the online.
I was able to do that after talking with a girl on how to go about doing that. I tried online to pay. I mean, I did the documentation for the certification, okay, with my
So you
infectious
knew that-
disease, which I've always been able to do. And then I put it in the envelope through whatever, what is it, Monkey something or another, the company that you do that with. And then I put it in the envelope and I mailed it off. But this year, it said to do it online. I wasn't able to do that, complete that with the way it was set up on there.
Okay, so for whatever reason, you weren't able to complete it online, but you did initiate on online, knowing that it was within your ability to do it online, right?
Yeah, I did
Okay,
that
so
back
you
in July.
acknowledge that you were aware that you could complete this process online.
I did attempt to.
So the hardship relating to your ability to walk or actually visit in person, I just want to make sure that you understood you had other options.
Well, I did have other options.
Okay, thank you.
This is Kai Stanton. I have a question for Inspector Fitzgerald. Was the, I'm sorry, Miss Cameron? Did I say that right? Was Miss Cameron standing, doing services?
Yes, she was.
Okay, thank you.
Can I just add something? Actually, when she told me, I said, I need to go speak to the manager because, you know, it's a really big salon. And she stated, I'm going to finish up now and go and take care of this right away. So she actually left the salon. Okay. And I forgot, the manager's name was Jackie, or I think that's her name.
Yeah, it is.
And so she signed the actual form. Okay. So.
And was the owner of the salon, did the owner receive a citation as well?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, there's no other questions for Ms. Cameron. I'm hereby to make a motion to uphold the penalty given under NAC 644.700 for $200 to be paid within 90 days.
Tia Latrell McCormick, I would like to amend that motion and make it 30 days to pay this fine.
So we're going to amend the motion to hereby.
Wait. So we're making her pay the $200 fine within the 30 days. Is that what?
It's a 90 days. Yes, I said 90 to
Yeah,
see
90,
if
right.
the board agreed.
The reason being is because.
You said 30.
Okay, so, okay.
The reason being is because this was already expired at the time, and she is working. So that is, she's working with an expired license. And so if this isn't an, you know, she's working. So she should be able to pay this. So it's just the citation because she's already paid her renewal.
So what is she asking for?
She's asking for leniency, giving her some time at least to make the payment. It was what it sounds like.
I thought she already paid it. Did you?
I renewed my license for 4 years, but I haven't paid the fine.
The license is renewed. The license is renewed. The citation needs to be paid. So she's asking for leniency on the citation.
She's asking for some reduction.
And,
Or time.
dollars is our fine right now. What we're talking about right now. Okay. So we're actually just talking about $200. Okay. We proceed. Okay.
I would hereby like to make a motion to uphold the penalty given under NAC 644.700 for $200. The penalty to be paid within the 30 days of receiving notice from the board.
This is Kai Stanton. I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
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 Motion passes?
No, I don't think the motion, does the motion pass?
Yeah, 42.
How many nays?
We're naying on the
We're naying on the 30 days.
Just the 30 days?
just the 30 days, right? So we,
So we would have to revote it.
because
Create a new motion.
Yes.
In order
the
to
fines be paid for within the 90 days. Is
Yes.
that what we're voting? Because that's what I,
Right, I'm going to say the motion over.
okay.
Okay?
I just didn't.
It was 30 days at first, and now I'm going to say it over. Right, we said 30 at first.
Yeah.
So now, I hereby make a motion to uphold the penalty given under NAC 644.700 for $200. The penalty to be paid within 90 days of receiving notice from the board.
I second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, board members. The next case is a petition to appear from Sandra Hershkowitz, petitioning the board to discuss initial license fees and their expiration time. Deputy Ott, is there a Miss Hershkowitz in the north present?
There is no one responding to that name in the north.
Thank you very much. Madam President, as such, I ask that we skip this item on the agenda and move to item 21.
So that is a default for a petition to appear.
Yeah,
Well,
it's not a default. They had the opportunity to come and state their case because they wanted something different. They have been provided the
It
opportunity.
remains the same.
Yeah.
I just have a question about, do we wait till Monica comes back, or do you guys want to just keep going?
Yeah, because Monica's bringing lunch.
Yeah, I think we're almost done, so.
Right.
You'll have to eat, though.
Okay.
If not, we're just going to have a bunch of sandwiches.
No, we'll eat. Okay. Okay, we'll move on to petition number 21.
Yes. Item number 21 is for Kathy Reddick, license C25607. Good morning, Miss Reddick. So Ms. Reddick is here petitioning the board to allow her to test for a cosmetology instructor license based on experience in the field. I would ask at this time Ms. Reddick make any comments that she have, and then I'm sure the board may have some questions for staff to answer in response.
Hi, Ms. Reddick, can we have you sworn in, please? We would like to hear testimony from you.
Okay. Okay, well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm here to talk about my ability to be a good quality cosmetology instructor. Just a little bit of background. I started in the industry in 1979 as an esthetician, and then I had a small salon doing skincare. After that, I had a hair salon that I owned without being a hairdresser. And I was forced to become a hairdresser because somebody walked out during the middle of a perm. So I had to kind of take over that. And I do have an updated resume. You have a resume in front of you that talks about my ability in the industry, and it lists salons that I have owned. And while I was in Alaska, I've done a lot in the industry, so much that it can't all be listed. I was an instructor therapist in Alaska, and they allow you to be an instructor in Alaska without going to instructor school. So I apprenticed 2 people underneath me. We had theory every morning as instruction, and then the person was allowed to work on clients under my supervision, and that turned out very well. So let's see. My most special honor, and that's in your packet that you have there, was being an honorable mention under the UCLA Anderson School of Management. There were 3,500 world competitors, and we were an honorable mention salon when we did this. And the criteria for that is to be a world-class performing salon. And this was in a town of 4,500 people. We were very active as a community service. We did the correct marketing, we did TV, we did radio. All this stuff is in your recognition program, and we came out an honorable mention, which is pretty amazing for a salon that's in a town of 4,500. So it means we were doing something right. And you know, this is, you know, our industry. I'm very proud of our industry. There's several certificates in there. You know, I won't go over all of them. I think one of them that I'm very proud of is being trained, one of the first people to be trained in laser in the United States, and that was in 1982. I went to France and I was trained there. As far as teaching goes, right now I am a substitute teacher for Clark County School District. I have done 120 hours of professional training with them. I was going to be a special ed teacher. How that helps you in our industry, I think people that are my age, the statistic is 3 to 5% of the people that are instructors in our industry right now are my age. And we're the ones with the most knowledge. As you all know that you own salons, you really have the knowledge. So I have a bachelor's degree in business, a master's in business, a doctorate in clinical hypnosis, and also a doctorate in psychology. All of these things add to the industry, and they add to our ability to be with people, and especially with people who we're instructing in our industry. I have a different level of explanation when I teach in this industry. My level, one girl that I taught nails in Alaska was dyslexic, and there's a different take on how you approach these people and how you train them. And so in Clark County School District, I did, I think, 15 hours of instruction online. But being in the classroom, being with kids, and seeing that you've got to attend to everybody's different needs. You know, everybody has different needs at the same time. And the ability to do that in the cosmetology setting is going to be very effective. And so that's why I'm here today, is to ask you to let me test for an instructor's license without having to go to instructor school.
Thank you for coming before the board, Ms. Reddick. I looked through this packet, and I have to say, you have a wealth of knowledge. I think you would be a great instructor. I'm a school owner, and from the experience here, I think you would be great. But the issue here is that there's programs that you don't have to go the full 750 to 1,000 hours. It used to be how many hours, Adam, can you tell me?
The student instructor, Adam Higginbotham, Deputy Executive Director. The student instructor program used to be 1,000 hours. In January 1, it was reduced to 700 hours, and the provisional instructor license is 500 hours.
So there's a provisional license program that the schools offer in our state of Nevada, and it would be a great program for you. You get paid at the same time. So you'll be receiving instructors' hours that's required by the state, and the schools pay minimal, but a pretty decent pay as well while you're learning the different concepts to teaching. I'm an instructor as well, and it's a little bit different when I'm sure you've taught maybe in Clark County School District, and you've taught apprentice. Years ago, I was a part of that apprentice program that we had here. And it's good to be able to train them the salon way, but to teach them the foundation of what the board requires is just a little bit, you need some altering there. I think I could see you in somebody's school as a PIL and then just go right into your testing to become a licensed instructor. But that's pretty much what the law states.
Is that a junior instructor? What's called a junior instructor?
No, you actually receive a provisional license as an instructor. You go to that particular cosmetology school of your choice. If they're hiring, they will enroll you with the Nevada Board of Cosmetology. You go down to the board. They issue you an actual provisional license saying that you are a provisional instructor. It hangs on that wall with the other instructors, and you're on your way. You do 500 hours with that school, you take your exam, and you are a licensed instructor.
Oh, it's 500? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
So that'd be great for you.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Adam?
Ms. Reddick, upon reviewing your file, we did notice that you were a licensed instructor in the state of Alaska.
Right.
And I think that did they remove that program, or do they still recognize the...
You know what? I'm not sure because I've been gone a while. So
if that license is active, if you could activate that license, it's possible you're eligible for reciprocity.
It expired, just like what's going on around here. It expired a long time ago.
But I think what happens when the state doesn't require like Alaska didn't require you to be an instructor. You
Right.
could just be a cosmetologist. And I don't know if they issue you a actual state certification.
She
That's
had
the only
an,
thing.
in
Yeah, I did.
2005, she had an instructor
Oh,
license.
right.
It's
But
just it's expired.
Expired.
Therefore, she could not obtain reciprocity because you have to have an active license.
Right.
And I don't know if the state of Alaska still
But
recognizes.
2005, it was a long time. You might want to do a provisional program, huh?
Right. Because the fees they want to charge.
Yeah.
They're more than here.
Yeah,
No.
that was a long time. This is like 2018.
Yeah.
I mean, those young ones are inside those schools, really. I mean, you would be a great fit. You would.
Yeah.
You have a lot of experience.
Well,
and you get
and
paid at the same time.
Right. Okay. So it's called provisional?
It's called provisional provisional instructor's license.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can email you the link, Ms. Reddick.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for taking your time out.
I don't think the board needs to take any motion on that, and so thank you, Ms. Reddick. We can just move to the next item, which is consideration and approval of the executive director's report.
I think we're going to have Adam to give us the report, right?
Yes, Adam Higginbotham, Deputy Executive Director. The Executive Director's report is on agenda item number 22. We're introducing the technology architecture. We have PSI API testing interface project that is currently in development, and the expected start date is March 5th, 2018. We've implemented the salon opening inspection feature on the inspection app. So inspections, salon opening inspections are performed on the app, along with the approval of the license is now done by the inspector through the app. We have self-service stations that were implemented at our new Las Vegas office and our Reno office. These stations enable electronic applications to be processed, and this reduces the use of paper. We've also continued our effort to learn our Ring Central telephone system and utilize the efficient system. We're able to now look at the number of calls that we have coming in, the number of calls that are answered, and the number of calls that are hitting voicemail. And our initial look at them, at the statistics, we're around 15% are hitting voicemail. And that's amazing considering we license 34,000 individuals or businesses, and we have a staff of less than 20. So our percentage of calls hitting voicemail is good considering our status. Moving on to our testing, we have a target date for our PSI testing implementation. Again, this is March 5th, 2018. We had a meeting with PSI that discussed the implementation plan for delivery of our new tests. The English, Spanish, and Vietnamese tests will be available on March 5th. Korean and simplified Chinese will be available in June 2018. The testing services for Las Vegas and Reno office will be closed during the week of February 26th through March 5th, 2018 for the testing transition. Licensing department, we are continuing our effort to learn and document the processes that we're experiencing at our new location. Our inspection team has identified frequently asked consumer questions related to the inspection processes, are in the process of addressing those in a consistent response. Our inspection team is also beginning to explore data reports from the software system to better focus our consumer protection efforts. Our operations has, since our last board meeting, we've relocated our office to 8945 West Russell Road. We've implemented self-service kiosks at new locations, at our new location and our Reno office. And we are currently learning lobby management and more efficient ways to deliver our services at our new location. In finance, we've averaged around $32,354 net profit for the month year to date based upon ongoing effort to reduce our operating costs. Our building transition for the Las Vegas office will save the board approximately $1,156.12 per month during the first year of occupancy. We've completed the Las Vegas office transition along with the improvements with a 36% cost savings in comparison to the last Las Vegas office renovation expense, which was nearly 10 years ago. We've established new mailing address and contact information with our vendors at the new office. And we've increased the transition of credit payments from merchant processor CyberSource to Stripe. And Stripe has already been proven a more user-friendly report than our previous credit card processor called CyberSource. And I'm CyberSource. And I'm open to any questions from the board, and any financial questions I'll defer to Mr. Helm, CFO.
Gwen Bramo, board member. I just had maybe a comment about the inspection report. I kind of went through that, and I looked at that we had probably inspected about 600 salons in that time frame period. I thought I saw the number 600. Did I? I saw it somewhere. Because what it appears to be, to me, where did I see 600? Oh, right here. On the inspections. From that time frame of September to November, we've inspected 600 salons. I was just kind of wondering, are we going to be, as the city is growing, the whole state is growing actually, are we going to be looking to hire, my questions was additional inspectors, or, because I know the inspectors they actually work out in the field a lot more. They work from home and out in the field. Because what I think what we're seeing and what I'm hearing a lot of, I get a lot of phone calls about salons and unlicensed workers, a lot of the misuse of the license, having one license and a small license, and then they're performing bigger services. I know the inspectors are doing a great job, but I just want to be able to make sure that we are able to keep up with it, because, we have that issue today. I'm sure it's going to be coming before us, a lot of those issues, because we're hearing, and people are more vigilant and looking now when they're going into a salon. They're looking for a license. They see a lot of people in some of the nail salons here. I'm hearing that with some person is starting their water, doing their feet, and then they go back and then they're doing eyebrows, and I'm hearing manicures, they're doing waxing. It's just a lot. So we just want to make sure as a board that we're able to keep up with a lot of this, and making sure that it stops or get a handle on it.
We'll assess any of our numbers. Once we're just now getting to the status or the plateau where our data that we're putting into our system is becoming information. And that information is going to help us make a lot better decisions. Right now, we're on pace that we're hitting salons anywhere 3 to 4 times a year. So that's every 3 months we're revisiting their salons. And if there's any activity that's going beyond what the inspectors can do, we strongly encourage that consumer complaint form, because we react very quickly to those consumer complaints. So if a consumer complaint is filed, we'll send someone out there within 2 business days. If it's a sanitary issue, we'll have an inspector drop what they're doing, and they're going to that location.
Okay.
So if maybe the utilization of our consumer complaint form for a lot of licensees, and our staff can definitely raise awareness to that consumer complaint form, so we can get more information from the field level.
Because I think that was kind of like one of the other we were discussing before. I had heard that it was like a lot of the people don't fill out that form, or don't want to give the information. People just don't want to do things online, or they don't want to just go down. They just, maybe there's like a hotline or something that they can actually call, and we get so many complaints from that particular business, and then we can send an inspector out. Because, asking sometimes people to put things in writing is a little bit different than somebody saying, this is what I've experienced.
Thank you for the suggestion. A hotline is something that I think is very
They have like
very
hotlines
feasible.
a lot of places you can just call in. Okay, we have a question. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay.
So we do work on weekends, so we are able to text it.
Okay, good. I'm happy to hear that. Okay. Do I have any other questions from any other of the board members on these the executive director's report? I think I like the way too we have all the new licensees all listed, right? Oh, that's the next report. Okay, so we need to I need to make a motion for approval.
I think they're inside today this time.
It's inside. It's all together.
Yeah.
I thought I saw it.
Yeah, we bundled it this time.
Okay. Oh, right. It's all together. That's nice, huh? Wow. See, that's what I mean by growth. Good job. Okay. So there's no possible action. We'll move on to the comments by any of the board members. Is there any comments?
This is Kai Stanton. I would really like for the board to take a look at the animal law that we have and how to clarify that a little bit better. Also, I would like to have a conversation about the CEU classes that are provided, talking about the instructors and making sure that the actual classes are connected with either instruction of cosmetology or the curriculum. So I would really like to see the CEU credits strongly based on curriculum and advanced training, understanding that the services. And my last comment is I would, actually, the braider, I think I already said that, correct? I said the braiding?
No.
Oh, and the braiding license, I would like to have something into play to where that in the law book it states that there is supposed to be a supervisor at all times for shampoos, for the shampooing license, the braiding license, things of that nature. We really need to hold the supervisors accountable for that as well. So I would like to really look at that. I wouldn't say dissect the information, but make sure that it is clear of the expectation.
We could talk about that at the Law Review Committee meeting. It's tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Madam President, sorry, if I may, if we could just go back and actually make a motion to approve the report, because it does contain a lot of stuff that's not just in the usual summary. I think it would be appropriate and prudent to have a full board vote on approving all the information presented in item 22. My apologies.
Okay, is there any other questions on the executive director's report? Do any board member have a question or a comment? No comments or questions? So that means you guys are doing a good job, right? So I would like to make a motion to approve the executive director's report.
I second that motion, Debbie Ritchie.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motions carry. Okay, so we are wrapping it up here. So we talked about the comments.
Where's the sandwiches?
Madam President,
It's not over yet, you guys. Okay, so we've already had comments from the board members there.
I think she's still going.
Taylor Trell, McCormick, I asked earlier, talked on the break with Adam about, because it's been a reoccurring thing with these no notices being given, I do think that it's something that, as Debbie said, we need to just discuss if there's options out there. So I wanted to take just a moment to ask Adam what our options might be so that we may be able to put it on the agenda to discuss further action in the future.
Adam Higginbotham, Deputy Executive Director. Off the top of my head, there are two quick things we could do. We could run a report of anyone expiring in 2018, send them out an email letting them know that they're expired. We can do that, or we can spend additional resources and put it in paper and print it, mail it, along with a paper application for them as well, and any other brochure material that you would like to include.
So Debbie Ritchie, cost-wise, let's talk about cost, because that's what I'm all about. So if it's a matter of sending everyone, I don't agree with that. But if you have something on, you're getting so far ahead of yourself with computer-based stuff. If you have a button that you can push that says these people have not complied, send them out an email. But it's just a good business sense, if you will. We'd rather have people that feel like we want to help them, other than why are they taking, you know what I mean? Because, and I'm just speaking for the salon owners. I mean, I don't think I've went off bounds here. I just really, truly think that, you know, I can say from experience that for a couple of times in the past 5 years, I've had a couple of rents that were due, and they didn't get paid. And I have somebody that pays all my bills, pays all my license, everything. I don't do that. But I pay my rent. And they were like, you did not pay your rent. Well, yes, I did. Well, no, you didn't. We don't send out statements anymore. That's your responsibility. I says, well, that would be great if you would have notified me, because I'm only human. It's only fair. It's called fair business. That's the only thing. And I think if you can do that, that would solve all the issues, and that would be a great thing. It would eliminate a lot of people coming before us, having to spend the time, the money, the revenue. Our Attorney General is sitting there. It takes time. Time is money.
Gwen Bramo, Board President, if you could just come up, look through some options. We're not going to discuss it because it's only for comment today. So if you could look at that at the board office and get back with us, and, you know, maybe we can discuss a bit more in the Law Review Committee meeting. I don't think this is just, if anybody have any future items that want to go on the agenda.
I can send it out by the end of the week, no problem.
Okay, we can do
done.
that. That's fine.
I'll take care of it.
Okay, that's fine. And then just let us know as board members what our options are, and then we can actually, you know, you guys take care of that and say this is how they're going to be notified. I mean, it's not for us to approve it. It's for you guys to, because they're coming in with you're getting the violations. But today, this is just any comments that we would like to see on the future agenda, not asking them to give us the solution today.
Right. And this is long-term and where it's going. Individuals that are expiring in 2018, 90 days before their expiration date, 60 days before their expiration date, 30 days before their expiration date, the day before, on their birthday, the day after, and 40 months after, we will notify them by email and text.
But we don't have to, but see, that's what I'm saying.
Individuals are notified now. Salons will be. This is long-term where we're going with salons.
Okay.
But individuals now, they're notified 5 times that they're renewing.
And we still have them come in with the same thing. So we just have to get to the happy medium solution of what you guys can do there in the office without having to increase the workload and I'm like with Ms. Ritchie, and increase the board's fees as well.
But you're talking about licensees versus salon owners, 2 different licenses.
Right. To Adam's point, too. And to your point as well. So one of the things, I'm not sure if Adam mentioned, but if your 90 days expired, you're going to get a certified letter, a call, an email, and a regular, you know, so you're not going to go too far down the wrong path before you hear from us. And then I'm relatively new to the role, having started in June, but to your point, you do get a lot of calls from salon owners saying, hey, I don't get a notice anymore, you know, and I try to explain to them, you know, it was a courtesy, but I get your position. So one thing that I personally started doing about December, I would run a report for all the salons expiring January. And I would say, hey, we're not doing formal notices anymore. Let this email serve. You're expiring. And I've tried to do that for the next upcoming month. Exactly. And I know Adam has, you know, more concrete plans in the future, but for the last few months, people have been getting that email from me.
Yeah, but Debbie Ritchie, I wanted to state this for the record, that people calling into you, and this is a hard ruche, a statistic, if you will. How many people in the last, how long have you been here with us?
Since June.
Since June. So since June, how many people have called into you, salon owners, ask, you know, saying, I haven't gotten it. How, can you put maybe a little, just a rough estimate of a number of how many calls you've had for that? That's taken your time.
I would say it's a relatively small number, smaller than you'd think. We definitely wouldn't say more than 10%.
10%.
But we do, you know, a lot of people will understand, oh, I didn't know. And you're kind of word of mouth then saying,
Right.
yeah, you kind of got bit this time, but now you know in the future. But like I said, in the meantime, I was hoping to do at least a calendar year of saying, hey, I'm giving you notice that there is no notice.
Yeah,
And
it's
kind of
almost
thing.
like a veteran, if you will, that served our country for many years.
Board Member Ritchie, sorry. I know we're having a very thorough conversation here, and for that reason, I
Okay,
think we
but I
need to
wanted
stop
to-
having the conversation
okay.
because of the
I'll
open
stop.
meeting law. And I know that this is something that needs to go on the next agenda, and that's very clear. But in order to give the public
We're gonna
the
move on,
appropriate notice
Counsel.
and agenda.
Okay, we're going to move on. Now, do we have any comments by the general public up north or down south? Okay.
Good afternoon, Board. First and foremost, you guys need to release your AGs. They're charging $120-some-odd an hour to hear the comments in which we're having, which are good comments that we need to have. And some of these things need to actually wait until tomorrow when we have our law review committee. So, dude, you can go. Joanna Tran, it is such a wonderful thing seeing you back home.
Sorry, sir.
I'm sorry. Oh, John Davis. I was the one who led you to the restroom. John Davis. You're so welcome. There is a comment that I do want to make about one of the licensees who were speaking to you all about the website and the portal. Adam, you guys have done a fantastic job, but I have also had problems with the portal on renewing some licensings, and so what I had to do was I had to drive out to the board that day to take care of the licensing that I had. So that might be a little issue that some of the licensees may have. Joanna, we got it on. Ms. McCormick and Ms. Luttrell, I do have notes for us for tomorrow for the Law Review Committee, the things that you all had asked, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any comments? Thank you, Mr. Davis. Do we have any comments by the general public, council up north?
There are no comments in the north.
Okay, well, thank you. The board has, do I have to say we just adjourned? We have adjourned. Thank you, board members and council and staff.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Mr. Ott.
Thank you.